found it. The most unprofessional little podcast there ever was. Ain't much else to say. Just sit back, sip on some whiskey, and be entertained. Because the Whiskey Bros are about to make love to your ears.
Whiskey Bros. Making love. Yes.
Let's roll. Let's start this thing.
Forgot to bring the paper towels again.
Oh, we started.
I was a little early. I was a little off.
Not the first time you said that.
Off the came a little too soon.
Already? We're crossing these lines? God, I am sorry, listeners.
You know,
Yeah.
we just polarize it right off the start. So people that are like curious, they're fucking hooked or they're out.
Yep.
Immediately off.
One of the two. Unprofessionals
Fuera.
here.
Yeah, if they listen to this Sunday after church, they're like, yeah, I'm out.
or maybe not.
No, we're sticking to Tuesdays now.
Yes.
Everything happens
Tuesdays.
Whiskey Bros, unprofessionals out there. Everything is programmed to happen on a Tuesday now. Our
Yes.
team,
Yes.
our team of what do they do?
They publish.
Publishers.
Yeah.
Our team of publishers hath demanded Tuesdays is the day.
Well, they came at us with Mondays.
Yeah.
But then we were like, no, that's too professional for us to come out on Mondays.
That'd be too much work on Sunday night.
We demand Tuesdays.
Demand Tuesdays is what we said. Here, why don't you go ahead?
What? You're not doing anything.
No.
You're just sitting here. I don't know
go
what you're
ahead.
doing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'll get it
go
done.
ahead.
I'm already
Yeah.
on the wrong screen. You take it back
no,
over.
this is great. Go for it. Uh-huh. Oh,
Hey, there's Ty.
Let's
Ty's
go to the
back
guy
with
that's
us.
not talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, Ty.
Hey.
We're not going to do what we did last weekend with you, are we?
No.
I don't think
Don't
my
I see-
liver could support it.
Oh, dude, no.
No.
I don't know if he would survive another one.
Whatever. I'm ready to rock and roll.
That was a great episode, though.
I felt
so
great
if
the
you
next
haven't
day.
listened
There's no
to
fucking
that
way.
episode,
You had no hangover whatsoever.
I never get hangovers.
Really?
I've never had a hangover a day in my life.
Never.
It's those Nordic Viking genes.
I don't know what it is, but
Must be nice.
and I've been like where I can't walk before,
yeah,
and still the next morning I wake up.
we've seen you
Now it is getting harder as I'm getting older, but like it's just
like
because
waking up in the morning.
No, I still get it. That's what sucks. I still get up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, no matter what. If I go to bed at 2, 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm getting up.
Does it not fuck with your sleeping habits?
No.
Really?
You sleep right through it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a terrible sleeper if I've drank too much, too. Like, very restless, heart palpitations. And
Oh,
just,
yeah, that kind of sauce. I see what you're saying.
Does it make you more of a man that you can't sleep late?
I don't think so. I think it's just I'm
What if
getting
he's
old.
just so retarded he didn't know?
Yeah.
I mean, because I've heard that story 200 times. Chance?
What
you think?
story?
The not being able to sleep late.
Not being able to sleep well?
No, late.
Late?
Like past 7:30 or
Heath
8.
can't sleep late.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We've heard it a lot, right?
Yeah.
And every time I listen to it, I'm like, God, it's because he's so manly.
I don't know about that. Like I have to have drugs of some sort. NyQuil usually.
To sleep at all?
To sleep past 9.
Oh.
Okay,
In the
but if
morning.
you wake up in the morning and you take more drugs, could
Oh,
you
God.
then just go back to sleep?
I don't know. I've
And-
never tried that.
Well,
Okay.
Yes, maybe
we're here.
shall do.
We're here to experiment,
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Next weekend, some of Ty's collection has returned as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he brought all that other bullshit when we already had the best one here.
One of the best ones here.
Was the Evan Williams Wild Label, bro. It's
Man, I'm drinking that right now,
Shit.
and I'm thinking, what the hell were we thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
There's
Hold on.
definitely some cognitive
It's
bias
not,
after seeing the label. So
our-
with that said, I want to try the Old Rip.
I have to stop
knowing-
you, Chance.
Knowing it, what
Our
it is.
editor just texted.
Okay.
He said,
Tell your editor that we don't fucking stop for nobody.
No, he said stop.
Okay. Collaborate and listen.
Yeah.
He said we can't go any further until we name the last episode and tell listeners to go listen to
I
it.
thought we've already named it.
We have
like-
named it.
No, we haven't named
Yeah, we
it.
did.
Yeah,
he
we-
said we haven't.
We have named
He's,
it.
he's
said
wrong,
Bob-
my
it said,
friend.
No, we've named it, but we've not named it on this show to
I see
refer
what
people
you're
back
telling me.
to
go listen to
Oh.
it. So
To
in
go
other words,
listen.
what this is Doc don't remember what the name was.
He said, "Fuck you."
Yeah. Yes, he did. Are you looking it up there, Big Chief?
It's right here.
Yeah. Look at it. Look
Why
at
don't
that.
you read that off to our editor, Doc?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell him.
Yes. Clyde.
He's gonna have to get his glasses.
It's called Dead Bottles Everywhere. Hold on, I gotta get my
Yes.
glasses. I
Yeah.
can't read that shit.
Tell him. Tell him. Did he say Clyde?
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? Who is Clyde?
Our editor. Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It sounds
I
like
thought you
Cartman
was-
from South by Clyde Frog.
I thought he was trying to read, and he thought dead was Clyde or something. I was
It's,
like,
it's the
"God."
mix of dead and the C from channels mixing together.
That's
over
what
there.
it is.
Totally a
yeah.
thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Dead
Dead Bottles,
Bottles
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
A blind tasting of 8 assorted whiskeys with Ty Rambo. Okay,
Yeah, it
so
was.
that was last episode. Go listen to it because
Yes.
it's freaking hilarious.
Yes, it's
and we had
worth
some
it.
surprising answers.
Yes.
Very surprising.
So let's talk about that a little bit because Ty Rambo.
We had some
just-
fallout.
We did. Because Ty Rambo just was saying that all of a sudden now that he knows what he's drinking, he doesn't like it.
Old Rip.
But when he didn't know, he voted it number 2 best of all 9.
Old Rip.
So what does that say about our tasting buds?
Do you remember what order or when we had Evan Williams? Was that like 6 or something?
It was close to the last because he was laughing
Yeah.
hysterically
It was like
was.
6 or
at my
7.
decisions.
I don't know if I have the photo
Here, I think I got them.
Okay, so I voted this one. Where's the camera? I voted this one. This is the Old Rip Van Winkle, which is the youngest of the Pappy series.
Trash.
I voted it absolute trash. Yeah. So I'm going to try it again,
That's hilarious.
knowing and see what mentally if I'm fucked.
Yeah, but so that's what I want to talk about. So, like, is that not necessarily what's wrong with us as whiskey connoisseurs in general? Not when I say us, I don't mean the whiskey bros. I mean all whiskey tasters, because
Unprofessionals.
well, even professionals, because I've seen videos of the professionals doing the same thing we just did last weekend.
Do they do better?
No, they said the
what we
same.
did.
They said the same thing.
Yeah.
Chief was telling me about one video. I can't remember what alcohol it was or what whiskey it was, but they did the same thing. They before the tasting. They were saying, for instance, I'm just going to use it because we're using it. Evan Williams White Label. We say you a lot on here. Sponsorship. Just saying. Yep, right there it is. Yep. See, we're not lying. So it was. So we'll just use that. So this
Okay.
uppity. What do you call a whiskey connoisseur?
Snob?
No, a drinker. You know, what's the sommelier for wine?
That's a good question.
I don't know if there
What's
is
the
one.
whiskey version?
A drunk.
Yeah.
No,
No?
that's not it.
That's not it.
There's got to be a term for it.
I wish you had a computer
you want
in front of you.
The Pappy. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I almost
dang.
took-
That was a good
What
one.
are you- Pulled a Doc
What
right
is Doc? What are you drinking?
Evan Williams.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Well,
start
Well, it
with
wouldn't have been too
good
bad
old
if I
Evan
dumped
Williams.
it. Okay, so there's
But-
still.
Yes.
Go
Continue.
ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's what I was saying, because he did the same thing. He was trash talking, let's just say Evan Williams. It wasn't Evan Williams, but let's just say. But then during
He
the
trash talks everything.
but then during the blind taste testing, he was just like what we were. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
And okay, that's so. It's not to say that the good stuff was not good. It was. Some of it was good. Like one of them, deservingly so, was ranked up there with the Evan Williams, and that was the
E.H. Taylor.
Yeah, the barrel
Yeah.
proof. Thank you. Yeah, that bottle.
I also
Yeah.
think we rated the very old Saint Nick pretty high.
We did.
too.
Yeah, it was next. Actually,
So-
here's our rankings.
So having this Old Rip, even knowing that it's still Old Rip, it still tastes very harsh, a little bit bright on the nose, citrusy. Still, it's still really harsh. So it's the 10-year-old old
so it's
Pappy.
still the number 1 for you?
Nope.
Because I think that's what you voted it for.
No, I voted this. I voted I voted this a 2.
Was it a 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
okay.
voted that very poorly.
2 and low, is I think is what you said.
Yeah.
Or I can't remember, but yeah, it was pretty low. But that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So
Didn't
like
you
how much of our brain is operating our tastes? Because if we were
A lot of it.
Yes, exactly. Because if we were sitting around a room of distinguished gentlemen and we were
Yes.
all drinking high-end whiskey,
Keith Verbiage is.
okay,
Yeah.
none of us
I follow.
are voting Pappy. We're not voting for Evan Williams. Maybe you, Doc. Maybe. But besides,
If we know it, if
Yes,
we
that's what I'm
know
saying.
that this is a $30,
right? That's what I'm saying.
$15 because this is double the bottle.
So are we all full of shit? Or is it our brain just won't allow us?
I think the study showed we were mostly we're about half full of shit.
Half.
Yeah.
So is that just us trying to be cooler than we are, or is that our brain? I don't know what the verbiage I'm looking for, but
yeah,
is it our brain won't allow us to vote properly?
And I think what you're asking
cognitive
is
bias, right?
It is.
Yeah,
cognitive.
You
bias.
you see it, you know it, and therefore you have already assumed how it will taste.
It shows how we've succumbed to marketing.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is I think we also, I think we can also tell which ones are best because it's a higher proof.
Mm-hmm.
And most of your higher end whiskeys are above 100 significantly.
Yes, they should be. If you're paying that kind of money, they should be well above 100.
So it's like, if you get a Blanton's or something, right, which is 90 something, I might be hard pressed to tell you if that was.
And that was a hard part about last week was everything was high proof. It was all high proof, but half of it was lower end, half of it was higher end, or at least higher marketed.
No, they weren't all high proof. There was Long Branch and there was Buffalo Trace.
But the majority of them,
the
majority of them, I think, were 100 or above.
That's true. All but like 2.
Yeah.
I think.
But I think in the ultimate outcome, we owe Doc an apology.
For what?
Because he's been talking highly about Evan Williams, the white label bottled and bond for like the past 6 years now.
Yeah.
And we're like, this stuff sucks. You're gay for drinking it. You're white trash. I don't think we called him everything under the sun.
I don't know who we are because I'm the one that got him on.
Yeah, that's true.
You got him on. Is this true?
Yes,
He got you on
that's true.
Okay, so it's me.
He was drinking the Canadian
shit.
stuff.
I was
Canadian Mist.
Canadian Mist.
Now that
is gay.
I was on board with calling him gay.
Yeah, and you were like,
switch
just
to
get
that.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Just get this stuff.
And that's not an affront to
buying
actual
that shit.
gay people. Like, we love gay people.
Yeah.
You are
love gay people.
The gay that we're using means you just suck.
Yeah, the other gay.
Yeah.
Not like suck dick, but
the
just
1980 gay.
Suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could call people gay.
Old school.
And it's I'm happy. I'm happy.
Well, no, you could also call people gay, and it didn't mean, you like dudes. It was just, man, you're freaking gay,
There's nothing
man.
wrong with liking dudes. If that's your thing.
If that's your thing, no, go for it.
But
now you can't call people gay when they are
acting a fool.
So I
Acting a
kind of
fool,
have a problem. I have a problem with that because what if somebody wants to act gay, but they're not gay? They don't like. They're metro, right?
Oh, you mean okay? You mean want to act homosexual?
No.
Or want to act
how
just happy.
homosexuals like they're happy or they're
that
flamboyant.
term was coined back 20 years ago. Metrosexual.
Yeah,
wasn't that the thing? Like, you're not gay, you don't puff Peter, but you definitely subscribe to the culture.
I have known some really cool guys that were like the characters on. What was it? Gay guy for the straight guy, or
queer eye for the straight
queer
guy.
eye for the straight guy?
It's sad that we know that. And they're like, oh yeah,
yeah. They were typical of the people on that show, but they did not like to,
make sweet love with dudes.
Smoke a pole.
Yeah, play the skin flute.
I see.
They.
I love the innuendos.
Oh my gosh.
And so what's the term for people like that? Taking sexual preference off of the table, like somebody who is fun and a little feminine,
Happy?
like slurs their speech in that way. What is that? A lisp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're just
what's
metro.
the term for? But straight.
Well, now they'd say they're non-binary or some shit. It's evolved.
I don't know. I think those dudes are getting shafted.
Yeah. Classically, it was just metrosexual.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they are getting shafted.
I'm getting scared.
Yeah, I mean, it was the whole. Okay, this guy isn't into your classically manly stuff,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he might like really good food and he's fancy and like and
Maybe he likes to play with Barbies, but he's totally not tossing another dude's salad.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking Ty over here is like, motherfucker.
no,
Where he was going.
Yeah, but nothing about that speaks to wanting to play the skin flute.
Tossing some guy's salad does.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you're doing that, you're definitely
Usually one goes with the other.
Everything before chances.
Yeah, that's a valid point,
salads being tossed. Yes, I agree with you.
I was like, I
With
don't know,
shit, Clyde's
I was
texting
like-
me again. He's saying we got to stop talking about
Yeah.
Whiskey. We're back
I was
onto
like
the
35
whiskey.
years old before I
Your first skin
fully
flute?
understood what tossing the salad was. I swear to God, I went through my whole life not knowing when people would say that, what they were talking about.
Still don't know what it means.
We can't
Google it.
No, you have to Google it.
Yeah.
We don't want this one going to the vault.
Nah.
Definitely, listeners, do not Google that. I'm just saying.
Which brings us to our next point that we talked about earlier. I don't think we should. I don't think we should broach this.
What is this?
I don't think we should. Remember, would you rather do this or this? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Now you brought it up.
Yeah, but it's the opportune time.
I don't know how you cannot continue with that comment.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to create a unprofessional listeners only tab to where if they want to hear that, they can click on it and it's on a sub.
I can guarantee all of our fans want to hear that.
They're all clicking on it right now, aren't they?
You should just ask Savage Bro.
A game of Would You Rather? Is that what we're doing?
It is, and it goes straight into the depths. I don't know, man. I don't think we should.
All right, let's talk about whiskey.
We were talking about whiskey, and somehow we rabbit trailed onto that.
Yeah. But before we get down to
Oh, it's because we
whiskey-
called Doc gay for drinking Evan Williams.
We will
Canadian
have
shit.
to yield to popular demand. So if you want to hear this, Would You Rather, which is
hit us up
awesome.
on the DMs.
Deep and awesome.
The DMs, the doc line, or just put a
let
comment.
us know.
Yeah.
Send a put a post on our page. What is the Would You Rather?
Yes. All right. Whiskeys.
Yeah.
But before we go farther.
Can you guess what it is, Ty?
No, but
No.
I'm sure you're already in the vicinity.
I remember there were a couple Would You Rathers that I would do, and my wife would just roll her eyes.
No.
She hated them.
Well, good thing is this one doesn't include your wife. So
No, it doesn't. If I'm guessing what it is.
she can sit this one out.
Okay. So if you must hear it, let us know.
Let us know, and we'll have to bring Ty back on, even if it's for like
for
5.
that.
Yeah, Ty, come back. They want to know.
We'll just call him on the phone. Hey, bro.
Would you rather?
But let's talk about that hat that Ty's got on. Look at that.
That is a good looking hat.
It is. Where'd you get that thing at, bro? Yeah, I'm glad you came back because you left your gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, piece of crap right there, bro.
There was a lot of
Jeez.
whiskey in my system.
Is
There
there
was.
yeah, thanks to you. Is there a logo on the back of that?
There is.
On the cup holder?
There is actually.
The slate.
Yeah, hold it up to that old camera.
How did they do that?
Virgil
Laser,
leather.
bro.
Virgil leather, where's that?
Lasers.
That is.
Really?
It's Decatur.
They're Indicator. It's our merch team.
Yeah.
They're responsible for everything Whiskey Bros branded that you see.
That's right. And the things you
know
don't
that.
see
It's awesome.
There might be a tattoo from.
because you're not here. Yeah.
You all right, man?
I'll get it. I'll,
Yeah,
add,
I'm
I'll
fine.
add a tattoo.
Just enjoying this
All right.
Evan Williams.
You heard it.
Would you would get a Whiskey Bros tattoo
Maybe.
No.
or a Virgil Leather
no,
tattoo?
no, we need that. We need that barcode. That way people can scan you.
That would be hilarious,
It
actually.
would be.
Think anybody's ever gotten a Venmo barcode put on their
Yeah.
bicep?
And Ty's officially our marketing team now.
Yes.
You tattooed. You're our marketing team. Good luck with the pay part of that. It's not so
Yeah.
good right now, bro.
Sorry, Ben, you just got fired.
Wait, who?
Ben.
Haven't met Ben.
Yeah.
You guys aren't doing
he was
enough.
new.
You aren't doing enough commercials.
I guess
know?
not. We've got to up,
Yeah.
up the budget. Sponsors.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, Virgil Leather for all your needs for swag and goodies and
Anything.
branded stuff. I mean, to support your own marketing, any of your clothing lines or merchandise, whatever you got that you need to be putting out there for people to see you,
That's
to be
right.
visible.
They can do it.
That was
Clyde is saying we have to let our listeners know how to find Virgil Leather. We can't just like put it. He's saying we have to say what the website is.
You go to Google.
Google Virgil Leather or Facebook. Actually, they're not on Facebook because they got hacked. Or virgilleather.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that was good.
Is Clyde okay with that?
Yeah, he said it was fine.
Okay, good deal.
I don't know why he can't just stick his head in the door. He's literally listening in the next room.
I don't know.
So whiskey also hits you differently sometimes.
He's weird.
Yeah, it does.
What is it hitting you like this time?
This is the old Rip Van Winkle. I mean, I mean, I still think it's okay.
Yeah.
So this tastes a lot. You're not a huge fan of the antique, right?
Oh no, I am.
You like the 107?
Oh, the Weller antique. I thought you meant like the antique
Sorry,
series.
The Weller 107.
I've come around to it.
Yeah,
I've come around to it.
this one tastes like that.
Yeah.
To me.
Oh, it should. I mean, it's the same juice, just different part of the warehouse and a little older.
Okay, so
But this seems harsh and a little bit like it's got tannins. I don't know if the tannins are a thing with whiskey, but a little bit of bitterness to it.
okay, somebody says, "Okay, I'll give you this glass of Old Rip Van Winkle. Would you like to enjoy it?" Or they say, "Okay, I'll sell you an ounce for $80."
I would take the. I don't understand what you're
I don't
proposing here.
Yeah, so
I don't
so
know.
so
I mean,
it's not a
obviously we're
question of-
all going to take the free.
Yes.
Yeah, every whiskey we tried, even the Long Branch, I enjoyed.
Oh yeah, sure. I get your point. Like you're going to enjoy it unless you're put in a position where you are supposed to rate it.
Yeah, or purchase it.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting at a bar and you're throwing down money, and you can buy the Rip Van Winkle or something else now, after the study that we ran last week, would your response be different?
Oh, definitely. If I'm spending my money, 1,000%.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
I'm going to call bullshit. There's no way in hell if you go to a bar, you specifically go to a bar, and there is a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle or a bottle of that white label, you're buying that Pappy Van Winkle, sir. I know who you are.
No, I'm not.
Listen here, bougie bro.
No, let's test that theory out.
This one right here?
It
I know
doesn't
it's
work
or is it-
now. You're going to do it just to prove it's
Is
wrong.
it this one specifically, or is it like the 12-year or 15-year?
I'm going to go with any.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say
We're talking about
15 year.
bougie bro here.
Yeah.
So
He
we're
does
saying
not
it's
order
It's this
white
or
label
Evan
Evan
Williams
Williams.
that are the choices.
Yeah, and so you can pay a $3 an ounce Evan
It's
Williams.
probably 12, but yes,
You think so?
probably.
Okay. Or you can pay. You can drop
80,
80
60,
yeah,
whatever that is, yeah.
on the Winkle.
Yes.
Oh no, okay, if it's between the two, yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably gonna buy the Pappy, but there's a lot more out there
gotcha.
that I know that is well worth the price that I'm gonna buy.
Well,
sure.
also like just you don't. There's other factors involved, right? So this 10-year is, even though we don't love it, it's not easy to get.
No, it's not.
And so if I go out somewhere, I'm gonna get something I can't normally
The
get.
thrill of the hunt.
Than I am something I can get off the shelf every day.
Yeah, the thrill of the hunt applies.
If I'm going to
and
spend the money, I mean, now it depends how much they charge. I mean, if it's $100 an ounce, I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But
I'm out.
a buddy was telling me the other day they were in Florida and they got Eagle Rare 17-year. They had Eagle Rare 17-year for $37.50.
I'd order that all fucking day.
And an ounce, I'm sorry?
Yeah,
Oh.
Have you had that yet?
I have not had
Oh,
17.
okay. Well, I've still got a little bit left at home, and that stuff is like cream soda, dude.
Is it?
I swear to God.
Man, and for $37, that's not bad.
No, it's not. I would order that all day long. The Eagle Rare 17 is unbelievable. Like you
Pretty
can't
good.
describe it really in any kind of depth where you would understand like how good it is. So
Well, I mean-
I shall pour it for you.
Unless he really, 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 really loves cream soda, and then you just did that for him.
Well, how often do you drink cream soda, Ty?
I do enjoy a good cream soda.
Oh, look at there.
I do.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so
Not to be confused with cream pies.
no, right.
That's another good snack.
So the question remains: why wouldn't you just have a cream soda?
Because it
could.
doesn't have alcohol in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some character you can't replace
Yeah.
about the aged.
And I mean, in this era too, with what the revelations have been with corn, high fructose corn syrup and dyes and everything else. Like, which one's worse for you?
So now you drink
a
the
distilled
whiskey and be like,
or a cream soda?
That's a great question.
this is healthy.
I'm going to argue that whiskey is probably better for you, as long as you're not
Probably so.
downing the whole bottle. But a couple of ounces, probably healthier for you than a soda.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, I'm not probably. I'm going to go with 100%. Whiskey Bros fact checked.
100%.
Whiskey is healthier than soda.
Neither one should you drink.
Name.
And so
Okay.
Episode name.
Oh,
We
our
run
our
that
team
by
is on it.
Run that by Clyde.
Yeah.
Will you please?
He's got it.
team
I don't
is
have to
on
write
it.
anything anymore. They catch it on
Okay.
the fly. You got
Yeah.
it?
Remember, you
Yeah.
just through the
was good.
window. You just tell them they're watching us through the window.
Yep.
Remember?
What
Through
if
the
it's
window.
what if it's a cane sugar soda?
Yeah, I don't think it's any better.
There's no sugar in the.
I'm biased. I'm biased against soda pop.
I mean, I'm not a big soda fan either.
I think the shit's toxic. My family drinks it all the time. I think the shit's toxic.
Yeah.
Well, but it's largely the sugar, right?
Right.
Like
Well,
we already
right.
have enough sugar in our diet. at the end of the
So
day.
so no longer is that stuff soda water and sugar with some flavorings.
Right, that's true.
It even the cane sugar stuff is still loaded with all sorts of shit. And yeah, the stuff is toxic.
Are you empty over there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, rinse it with a little bit of your water. You're going to depart from whiskey for a bit because I forgot this has been sitting here this whole time. The Archetype Smoked Gin.
It's good stuff.
Is this your water right here?
Yeah, you can have it.
I'm just
It's,
gonna-
there's no me in my
yeah,
water.
He's not
Yeah.
have COVID.
Do you
Don't worry
like
about it.
gin?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think
That was a little kind of
yeah.
hesitating.
I do. I
Okay.
mean, there are gins that I don't like for sure.
Okay.
Pass that around to Rambo.
What tends to be a feature of gins that you don't like?
Well,
Yeah, what's their last name?
I don't know that I don't have a
Nobody got
particular
it.
one.
I got it.
I got it, bro.
I don't have a particular one in mind, but might have been too big of a
No.
pour.
Nah.
Do you tend to like more floral
No, I don't.
gins?
That's- no.
Okay, so
That's
the opposite of floral
correct.
is.
I'm not a big fan of the.
So you may
florally.
love that gin.
Yeah, that was smoked with alderwood. Found in and along the Rocky Mountains
Smells nice.
of
That's how
North
it's
America.
smoky smell to it.
Yeah. We need to eat some fish with that.
Yeah.
Some rainbow trout.
Yeah.
Fresh rainbow
caught.
trout.
Yeah, right out of the river.
Ooh.
Well, we could just walk 20 feet down that way.
Yeah, we got a
Probably-
lake
We do have
quite
some
literally in
fish.
our backyard.
We have a lakefront studio at the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Is there
West-
trout in the Trinity /
There
Bridgeport
is,
Lake?
but I don't know if it's rainbow. It's probably some kind of weird
Yeah, it's probably
trout that nobody's ever heard of before.
Nuclear waste trout.
Alligator gar trout, I think is.
Have
what
some
they
of that
are.
water, Doc. You have some notes up here that you got to give a shout out to somebody
Yeah.
who's,
yeah.
who cornered
So,
you out in the
no.
public.
Well, I have not met said person.
Oh,
I was told by the owner of Trinity Street Coffee Bar that he came in giving us props, if you will. Him and his son listen.
okay.
He's from Midlothian.
Midlothian?
Midlothian.
Yeah. Anybody know where that's at?
South of Fort Worth.
Yep. I only got his first name.
I mean, that's a high mark because that means because I don't necessarily talk to us about my dad, so to speak, right?
What now?
But if there's a family that kind of recommends us within the family unit, it means we might kind of be a family podcast.
I don't know if we go. I don't know if I'd go that far.
Listen with your older teenagers. We had some friends that asked, they were on a road trip and they're like, we want to listen to the latest episode. Can we listen to it with our 14-year-old? And I'm like,
depends on the
you already
14-year-old.
know the answer to that. You know. Parental discretion.
And when I say his son, I believe his son's probably 30-ish.
Oh, okay.
So, but Paul from Midlothian. Like I said, I don't know who you are, but
And Paul's son. So
Obviously-
did they just come to Trinity Street based on the podcast?
no, I don't believe so.
Oh, they already knew about it.
I think they were just there. Maybe they knew some peeps. I don't know.
This
the
is
whole
where you
story,
lie and
but-
say, oh, no. They showed up based on our show.
They went to Trinity Street just because we were talking about it. Yeah, they seen Coffee Jesus episode.
Yeah. That'll make a believer out of
and
anybody.
they went there. Yeah. Paul, thanks for listening, bro.
Thanks, Paul. And Paul's son, whoever your name is.
Hit us
thank
up
you.
on Facebook.
If you got an extra boat, send
us
it our
know.
way.
Do we know Paul's last name?
I don't. They didn't tell me this information at Trinity
Paul
Street.
Wall.
They just said Paul.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you're listening, Paul, hit us up on Facebook and tell us your last name. So
Thanks a
we can
million. DM us though. We don't want we don't want to give away any kind of information you don't want to be putting out on the World Wide Web.
That's right.
But yeah, we may need to get a boat. The West Fork of the Trinity is out and about. Once
Coming for us.
5 years ago is the last time I think it's flooded.
Yep.
Of course, as farming goes, when you spend the money to plant a lot of crop in a river bottom area that's prone to flooding, it'll flood.
You say this like you know.
I know. It'll flood. People are they're so tired of hearing me bitch about hay or the hay that won't be harvested. But yep, it'll happen every time. It'll get you. So, we'll dial back the budget a little bit.
Yeah. It's moved to Evan Williams.
Yes.
But we'll be drinking any Pappy this year unless Ty brings it.
So do we think we have I don't know, doesn't have to be a sentence, but like a kind of a quick summary of the whiskey experience we had? Like,
yeah.
Do we think we have something in mind that we learned?
Yes, I do. Actually, our team worked on it all week. And let me find it. Just Clyde.
I'm going to go with, I don't remember some of it.
Yeah. There's
a good thing.
There's some of that.
It's a good thing. It's archived in video and audio format.
Because unlike you, ladies.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't pour out any of my whiskey.
I said drinking at one point.
Oh, yeah. We be drinking.
Here, hold on.
All right, Doc, tell us what Clyde said.
Yeah, I think it's on page 7. Hold on. Nope.
Damn.
It's page 9.
Clyde is good with notes, and there's 7 pages, but 9 pages of notes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a lot.
Yeah, Clyde is thorough.
Okay, so the number one observation was low-end whiskeys fooled everyone at least once.
Mm-hmm. They did?
Yep. Low-end whiskeys.
We have all agreed on that, and that's the Evan Williams White Label.
Yeah. So that fooled everybody the most, obviously.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But even Long Branch fooled everybody. So
I think what was the purple label?
The purple label
low end
was hold on. Where's Long Branch?
I think it's purple.
Early times.
I think that pulled you pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you voted for it.
I think I voted that one like second highest probably of all of them.
The next observation was Winkle did not blow minds.
It did not.
Nope.
No.
It underwhelmed.
Yeah. Underwhelmed. They said legend crumbles under blind justice. So, yeah, that was the conclusion.
So don't let prices sway you from a potentially good whiskey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you could spend $50 and find something that is earth shattering.
I think that's probably the best thing that came out of said, whatever you want to call what we did last week.
Yeah. And then
experiment.
The next observation was obviously the one we talked about. Evan Williams was the complete dark horse. It surprised everybody. Rose, as far as value goes, it was the winner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was the clear and present winner. If you account for value, yeah.
So they had said so they drew a graph out, and it was score versus cost. So it was the score per ounce per cost, and then they inverted that value, and so it was like the inversion of the value of this score per ounce per cost. It was the highest value by like 100-fold.
Okay, so what? In that realm, in that chart, what was the lowest scoring?
It was actually Winkle.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that makes sense.
Suck on that, Winkle.
Yep. So that was wild, and then they had a fourth observation, and I thought this was really interesting.
Where did this Old Saint Nick rate in our ratings? Because that's a pretty good rye.
I can tell you.
So I remember you two guessed it.
Did we? I don't think I did.
You did.
I don't think I knew that.
But I think I had already guessed it, so you knew it was in the mix at that point.
Yeah.
But I thought we all gave it either 3 or 4s.
Yeah, we did. It tied with third. So our top 3 was our top.
Was EH.
Well, actually, it was tie for top.
It was
E.H. Taylor, Evan Williams, and Old Saint Nick.
Which, by the way, is not as good as the rye. So
Right. Agreed.
still good though. Very good.
So this was interesting. Confidence equals chaos. So they said wrong guesses were if an answer was given confidently, it was actually more likely to be wrong. So that's actually true.
Nice.
That is true. Yeah.
You thought about it too long.
I
though,
have been
then
through
you
the
were probably
data.
Right.
I confirm that this is actually true.
Okay,
The more confident the answer, the more likely it was.
that
to be
apparently
wrong.
That had to come from you because there was one point where you were like, "I'm sticking with this being a 1."
It was
Like,
the
I
Evan.
don't-
No. I thought it was the Evan Williams
It was
because he's
something.
laughing at me as I'm
Yeah.
rating it highly. He's like, "This could be the best thing of the night." I'm like, "You're trying to fuck me subconsciously. I'm sticking with it."
Yeah.
But that also translates into like every fact of life and dealing with humans. Like the more I was reading a study about that, the more people use terms in absolutes, like "I never" or "I always," more than likely they're telling you a lie about something.
Yeah.
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 The more absolutes you run across in dealing with humans, the more they lie.
What's that called? Okay. Theologian. Well, okay, so that's not it's the opposite of humility is
Bro, you got to find a way to either point that mic back at you or lean to the side because you're fading as you back away. Oh, God, here goes the threads.
okay.
Did you say the opposite of humility?
Yeah. It's like whenever you have a like
Proud?
yeah, like you proceed with like this rashness, but you're more likely to be humbled whenever by
Whenever the event happens that you've been
whatever it is.
you've been called out. Is that what you're trying to portray here? What exactly are you trying to say?
Yeah. So if
Yeah,
you
it's
have
like-
this like pride, you're just going to be like floored by reality. Reality is going to teach you a lesson.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like meekness is probably a good.
So what is meekness? Describe it, because
I think of weak, right?
you think that, but that's not the case, right?
No, I think meekness is probably akin to humble.
Okay. But yeah, I also, whenever I heard the term meekness, would think weak. or something non-confident. Mm-hmm. But where's the line blur between confidence and pride or boastful?
Yeah, you're asking me. Let's ask Ty because I don't actually have a clue.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know that there's a right answer to that. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I can say this is the right amount, exact right amount of meekness and certainty.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like you're just trying
think
to
you do-
model humility in your answer.
I do think that generally speaking, there are a lot of things in this world that are gray when you look at it long enough, if that makes sense. Like I think there's a lot of like
Describe that. Oh, you mean gray, like
gray
area?
as in gray
It's not
area.
black or white.
Yeah. And if you end up
That's
on
usually
black,
what gray means. Yes.
so if you
Yeah.
end up on the, a lot of times if
Somewhere
you're
in the middle.
if you're on that black or white side, you tend to be kind of you want to find that medium ground on things because you tend to be it makes you kind of that hostile, militant. This is the way
I
it
feel
is,
like
and then
you're
you are
right.
probably going to find out something that actually makes you question where you've been for so long.
So, but there are obvious cases in life that warrants being black or white.
Yeah.
I mean, besides
I would
race,
almost-
obviously.
Yeah, I
But-
think there are things in this world that are true, and like we see them. The effects this happens when you do this, like things like that are true, right?
How do you know that something warrants a black or whiteness versus a grayness?
I want to change black and white to brown and yellow. Because I don't like it that you keep saying black and white.
it is a little bit like, are we talking?
Okay. Okay, that warrants one extreme.
Yeah,
To the
You know,
other.
like an
one extreme to the yeah.
Because we can think, okay, killing babies.
Bad.
Okay, right, bad. You know, it's like, okay, how do you feel about killing babies, Chance?
I mean, fuck them.
I
Not
mean,
the babies. The
like
murderers,
there's no
yeah.
like there's
But
no
then you're-
kind of gray
no,
area.
But then you're gonna have somebody say, "Well, what happens when?"
We're overpopulated.
or they're going to bring up a situation and says, well, what if
The girl was
this
raped.
girl was raped?
Rapai.
Okay, so define killing babies.
I'm saying babies.
We're talking like
2-year-old babies.
Yeah, okay, out of the
2-year-old
womb.
baby.
Yeah, 2-year-old.
Okay, yeah.
I was
then-
like, there's no
can-
question.
Sure.
Like, I can't think
Well,
of
there's
a
kind of a question because I don't think nobody calls a 2-year-old a baby anymore. It's like a toddler.
I was a little
a toddler. A
confused.
toddler.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
wait, hold
I
on.
don't know of a person that would be gray.
Was Chucky a
on-
toddler?
Oh,
Ooh.
And would you have killed Chucky?
Yes, 1,000 times.
Would try. You would try to kill Chucky.
yeah, right. In this
Okay, so
world,
take
nobody
Chucky
would be
out of the
yeah,
conversation.
nobody would be gray on that.
No.
question.
A normal human infant. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But then
Born out of
right,
the womb.
you present a situation where, okay, well, what if hypothetically there was like this 2-year-old had to die, or the whole world would die, and then so which one would you
I
choose?
mean, the whole world's
So
going
for-
to die at some point anyway.
Yeah,
For me, and this may not. I mean, I think to a certain extent, everybody has. I mean, our society has Christian ethics just kind of in it, whether you're a
Integrated,
Christian
yeah.
or not. So, for me, the black and white really is going to be dependent upon the things that the Bible specifically and outrightly say.
Like it's
It's
a
influence.
foundational moral compass. Whether you subscribe to religion or that ideology or not,
Yeah.
there's still an underlying moral foundation that is provided by religious doctrine.
I'm going to have a tendency to be like, if the Bible doesn't say exactly, doesn't give an exact answer to a certain situation, I'm going to have more willingness to kind of think through it and say, maybe there's some gray area here, so to me, that's where I'm going to err on the side of like, okay, thoughtfulness, caution, all of that.
So what
Like
would
do not kill, right? Like that's
right?
pretty,
Okay, pretty foundational.
Yeah.
Is it?
Is that
Is that pretty
right?
foundational? Because now all of a sudden I'm going to flip it on you.
No, you're going to start getting into ethics.
Somebody
right?
kills your baby.
Right.
How do you feel about do not kill now?
Oh yeah, you
All of a sudden.
you murdered.
So this
them
is
with
what I was
prejudice.
going to a minute
Yeah.
ago. There is a sense in which many things like that can have are there instances where it's okay to
Sure. In the Bible, there were instances where they killed for, and it was ordained. Okay, so just think like, Israel marching on, what was the town that fell because they were blowing the
Jericho.
trumpet? Jericho.
Yeah.
Right. For instance, that was like, so, yeah, that killing isn't bad per the Bible.
Only if you're commanded by God. That would be the implication of being
How do you
okay.
know? Okay.
I don't know, because in the commandments, it doesn't say thou shalt not kill unless you want to take over a city with big giant walls. Because now you're going to get to, did God really tell them to go tear up Jericho and kill all those people?
I don't know the answer.
I don't either. I wasn't there.
According to the story,
According to scriptures, that's exactly what happened.
See if Clyde can give a phone call out to God real quick. Can Clyde do that for us?
Work on that.
no, Clyde doesn't talk to God.
Yeah.
What a psychopath.
Because what you always got to remember is if it's in the Bible, yes, I usually go with it. But it was also written by a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was written a million years ago. And we piece a bunch of it together.
Okay. So
So I don't know.
Moreover, it was
this
written
actually
by
borders
prophets.
upon one of the notes I have written, and
talking about Isaac.
yeah, trying to understand that gray area.
So inform me and those of us who might not know so well about Isaac.
Sure. So and correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't actually rehash this story before I should have coming on, but basically,
Us do research?
I know, right?
We've got a team for that now.
So let's see. Abraham, okay, had been commanded to make a sacrifice. Is that right? Okay, he was commanded by God to make a sacrifice, and so he heads up, but he didn't have anything to sacrifice. He heads up the mountain, and he's taking his son Isaac with him. Okay, and I think at multiple, if I'm not wrong, points in the story, he recognizes Abraham that I don't have a sacrifice. I don't actually have a sacrifice, and then he gets up to the top of the mountain where sacrifices are made, and not having a sacrifice, he's like, okay, I gotta sacrifice something. I don't know what was going through his mind. He was up here. I have to sacrifice something. Only thing I have is my son.
Kind of. God told him he had to sacrifice because
I don't think he told him he had to sacrifice his son.
Yeah, for
okay.
Sure. Because it's the whole story before he even had the son. So they were like extremely, extremely old. His wife, Rebecca, I believe, she couldn't have kids.
Yep.
Really old lady.
Yeah, but God told them both that they would have a son.
And oh, by the way, like people tend to think that Isaac is some like 5-year-old kid. He's not. He's not young.
Okay.
He's not young.
He's
Okay.
very aware of what's happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
that colors, because the whole time I'm taking in the story, I think all of my history of knowing the
want
story,
to call a child.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a 5-year-old kid, who's walking around with his
Murder or
like little,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know the age of Isaac, but I don't
No.
think he was like a baby. But I don't know. I can't remember.
But he's not some blissful little 5-year-old kid.
No,
that's
I
just-
mean he's definitely. I couldn't give the exact age, but I think it's pretty widely understood that he's of an maybe teenager, maybe like 10 to 15, probably. In
Okay,
there.
so they get up
Maybe
to
even
the
older.
Okay.
top of the mountain, and you're saying Abraham realizes he's got to sacrifice his son.
I want to say I remember. Suppose the book it says God told him to take him up and sacrifice him, and then at the last minute, showed up.
Yeah, so like he ties him to the altar and
It was
like about to swing down on his head.
Yeah, because it was a whole test
And-
of his faith, basically.
Yeah.
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 And
Which is huge.
Well, and it's as much about Abraham as it is Isaac's faith.
so that was the question that's come up. And that's a whole reason why I ended up on my like notes agenda is because I was listening to a podcast with Peterson and Peter Thiel, recently, and Peter was saying just that. He was making the argument that, we all talk about it like it's in the perspective of Abraham, but it's not. And maybe we should be thinking about it in the perspective of the faith of Isaac, faith of a child. And I was like, wow, I've never really even thought to think of it that way.
Well, and you can even go farther than that because we're all scared of our wives.
Yes, we
So
are.
Rebecca just had, and you got to remember, this is Rebecca's son where she couldn't have a kid, and she was like 95 years old or some crazy crap like that.
Yeah.
Now your husband is coming to you and say, God tells me we have to sacrifice him, and you're just...
Yeah.
I don't
So
think
I
he
think
told her, right?
And when I say
I
why,
wouldn't have.
when I say
Hey, where's the kid? I don't know. Talk to God.
and when I say widely understood, I mean like more scholarly. I think scholarly, that's the way that people understand his age to be. Now, I think you'll hear a lot of people just
Who still
generally
think of
reading
him
it
as
and
a
they think-
child.
yes, exactly.
What is the outcome and the moral of this story of this?
Well, okay. What he said was that, so the moral, it's thought. It's debated, but nobody knows what the moral of the story is, but it's widely thought that the moral of the story is that, God will provide, it's like you should trust blindly. And
I believe that's correct.
I think you could find a better analogy if he's an all-powerful, all-seeing God than, hey, take your kid up and kill it, but at the last minute, I'm going to substitute it with a sheep. Here's me. There's the skeptic here. Like, if I'm hearing voices in my head saying, you need to kill your kid, bro.
Yeah.
But don't worry, trust.
And the kid can't be.
I'm going to be like, no, I'm going to eat a bullet. Sorry, I'm out. Goodbye. Yeah.
The kid can't be, not kid, goat. Like, kid can't be too old because he would have just overpowered Abraham.
Clyde texted me and said he didn't want to interrupt you, so he texted me and said he was late teens to early 20s.
There you go.
Really?
That's what.
Which could make it worse because now there's a more of a self-awareness involved with
I said 10,
Isaac.
15, possibly older.
Yeah. And you also got to understand what year we're in.
Yeah.
Well, a long time ago.
Long time ago.
I mean, you're talking.
These cats seen some stuff that we can only read about.
I mean, in the 1700s, 13-year-olds were getting married.
I mean, back then, it's like you were 20 years old. Yeah. You lived half of your life, right? Exactly. So you might as well have been like middle-aged.
Yeah.
So I think it is more of a Isaac
perspective,
trusting the faith of his dad. Now, I don't know if does it talk about whether Isaac says...
you could just say the story is trusting the outcome of your father.
Yeah.
And that same thing with Abraham.
Yeah.
So
God our father, Abraham's the father.
Totally cool from Isaac's viewpoint. If, Dad, you need to off me, is that...
But you're just totally kind of saying, fuck that. There's something about this story that isn't registering or not ringing true for you.
Yeah, it's a bit of an extreme.
Okay.
Like I would think of an all-powerful entity that has created the heavens and the earths and the universe could find a little more of a compassionate way to lead people by faith.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I'm assuming you probably also have a problem with like how can a good, powerful God allow evil?
It sounds like some demented computer nerd.
Theosophy. Question.
That hasn't left his basement. That we're in a simulation. Oh, and it's some demented computer nerd's like, you must sacrifice your son. Just kidding. Here's a sheep.
Yeah.
But that's why. So
I'm gonna get struck down on my way out of here.
Well, no. This question has let.
Well, see what I mean. So yeah, you're like.
Oh yeah, I'm not denying at any given moment I could be smited.
You could be
by the god or the computer nerd in charge. I don't know.
No, but I think a lot of people have that question kind of burning in them, and they don't know like how they would actually answer it.
Yeah. So in present day.
So looking at it a different way, though, it's interesting to me, and I know you're like, why? There's got to be a better way, right? Mm-hmm. Well, also to me, I find a little bit of solace in the fact that the Bible doesn't sugarcoat things.
Okay.
Like, I mean, why didn't we just get rid of all this stuff if it was bad?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Say we, like those who have translated the Bible and have
why didn't they just say, okay, we're going to scrap this one?
Correct. Yeah, and it also kind of goes into like the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? Was actually translated by Jews, not Messianic Jews.
Mm-hmm.
So they're translating the jots and tittles. They could have very easily said
tittles, but you actually mean that. That's jots and tittles.
That's what the jots and tittles are the. It is the.
I'm writing that down.
The marks.
It is the marks of Hebrew. So Hebrew has vowel points, which are kind of what they can call the part of that language. So it's like actually, if you can see them doing.
Oh, we
here,
can see it. Don't you worry.
A lot of them are like lines, and then you'll have vowel points, line, vowel point, line, vowel point, and it's.
So whenever
jots and tittles,
American people think of Hebrew, it's like on the script because we've seen pictures on the internets, according to Heath, on the internets.
The original scripts didn't have the vowel points, so they kind of had to add that
later on
based off of how based off of how they're spoken, essentially.
I feel like that's an important point. I do. So
I'm going with that, though, before they go there, is that those guys could have very easily
changed the
removed
story.
the any reference to a Messiah. Like Isaiah has a lot of references to a coming Messiah. Very much a picture of Jesus and what Jesus ends up doing on the cross. Like, they could have taken that out very easily and said, you know what, like, yeah, this is wild. I'm getting this, but I think to them, they said, I'm going to keep this thing. I'm going to keep this as, even if I think this is wild, I'm going to keep this as close to what it says as possible.
So what you're saying is the jots and tittles were a linguistic development later on, long after these stories were developed, but they chose to kind of honor the spirit of the story with the jots and tittles. Jots and tittles.
That's
I love that
there's nothing. There's nothing about the jots and tittles that I'm no
But
point. There's no point. I'm just calling it that
story.
because that's what it's called.
Okay,
but they
gotcha.
could have. Yeah, they could have changed it very easily. Yeah, they could have removed your references to Yahweh or not Yahweh. Like. I forget what the Hebrew word for Messiah or
So
like.
I got a question for y'all.
Is he talking about Kanye West? Is that-
Yes.
No, Yahweh.
That's
Elohim. Elohim.
Yeesh.
That's God.
So
But I
let
was
me-
trying to think of what
Elohim.
the
Let me ask you this: you say they could have, they could have changed this, they could have changed that. How do you know they didn't?
Okay, so
well, they
really
sure
smart
did. I mean,
people.
they sure did leave some. I mean, I guess they. Yeah. I mean, I guess they could have, but
How do we know they didn't change it
okay, so
to
currently
what we see today?
a lot of
But why? If you're somebody who's trying to not, if you don't think Jesus is
I got an answer for you.
is the coming Messiah that is talked about throughout the Old Testament, why wouldn't you get rid of all of those elusive illusions, if you will, of Jesus? Because they're not specifically saying Jesus, but there are references to things that Jesus ends up doing, right? Like,
That's really good.
Again, I think of Isaiah
What do
specifically.
you want me to do with this?
Just said it over
Okay, so try this one on.
Like a sacrifice, right? That will, it's this picture of a blood sacrifice. And I mean,
Yeah, that's carried through the old stories and then transpires into the person of Jesus Christ.
read Isaiah 6 and tell me that it's not talking about Jesus.
Yeah, I'll have to
What he did.
read that. Yeah. Okay, so but also three major faiths share three major diverging faiths share the early part of the Bible.
Christianity, Islam, and
Judaism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so the
Torah.
The Torah is the same in all three faiths. And so if three things say the same thing, that thing was likely preserved.
So which religion's right then?
All of them.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Where do they diverge?
Okay, so the Judaism diverges from Christianity with Christ.
Okay.
Okay, and then Islam diverges
Same.
from Judaism after with
Same.
the dude. Do you know the Islam dude?
Muhammad.
They think there's
Muhammad.
They think there's Jesus.
They believe Jesus
don't-
was
they
a
don't-
person. They just
Yeah.
don't believe he was the Messiah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Same thing
he
with
was a good
Judaism.
prophet.
Basically, he was another prophet.
Yeah, same thing with Judaism.
Yeah.
They recognize Jesus Christ. They
And
just
what I
don't-
have to say to those folks is, there was at least 12 grown dudes. Okay. So picture this: today's time, 12 grown dudes that were willing to be cut up in pieces, hung upside down and debowed, murdered in all kinds of awful ways to prove to people that they believed that was the Messiah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they did. The disciples got like butchered.
Oh,
literally butchered.
Yeah.
Have you ever read The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine?
Parts of it. I've not read it all.
Okay. He hypothesizes that in the time that the stories come from the Bible or were put together, the term prophet meant nothing other than poet in that era, or a joker, some sort of an entertainer. And his rebuke against the Bible is, well, these are stories that are put together. And ancient writing is dark, right? Even children's nursery rhymes up to this day came from ancient times, and they're
Like some of Grimm's fairy tales.
they're pretty
Oh my God.
fucking morbid.
Yeah.
And they had no chat GPT, or if a poet came from afar or a prophet came from afar and
they're like cannibalism. We got this.
Presented these
we'll just
stories.
tell our 5-year-old kid about this.
yeah, right. Let's not talk about Humpty Dumpty.
Matricide. What's that?
But they had no way of arming themselves against a prophet from afar that came to tell these wild stories, and they had no way to disbelieve, I guess is the best word.
They didn't have ChatGPT to constantly verify
or
everything.
Google or Jordan Peterson.
We got Clyde.
Yeah, so that's just a perspective,
Clyde.
but
Yeah.
You make a valid point,
yeah.
right? But I feel like now that's different than in Thomas Paine's day. Now we actually can pull from more history, right? Not to get Hegelian in nature, but
we've discovered a little more.
Yeah, with the Dead Sea Scrolls,
or
for
even
instance.
what Graham
Hancock
is unearthing.
Yeah, or that ring thing that what's a language ring thing?
A ring to rule them all?
No, this is the ring that
Nobody got my Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah.
It's just
that was pretty good, bro.
We've been watching it, by the way. So. I knew I got it. I got there.
What's the app that teaches you different languages?
Rosetta?
Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
The Rosetta Stone. For instance, it's like, okay, archaeology has never been able to string together historical artifact like they can now.
Okay.
Right? Much more so than in Thomas Paine's day. And maybe one could argue that archaeology kind of argues in favor of the historicity, the solidity of these events, okay, while also speaking to kind of the craziness of others.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a historical event such as Noah's Ark. Like, what was the scale of what the earth that Noah knew? Like, if I was in his time, my scale would be
County.
My immediate ground, and I would look out and go, "Oh my God, the earth is flooding! I have to build an ark."
Right. You could have traveled to like Denton in a week's time.
Yeah, that's and that's a third of your life gone from your travels afar.
Yeah, because you're okay. So I see what you're saying. It's like, what was Noah's world, and could that have been flooded?
And you're talking about historical evidence being unearthed more and more.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a good explanation to use, because every religion / whatever you want to call it, sect of human has a story of the world flooding.
There is, there's pretty much
it's not
every
just the Bible.
There's a great flood reference in just about.
There's Graham Hancock had an episode on historical floods, and they're hypothesizing the Grand Canyon was not carved out by millions and millions of years. It was one fantastic, huge, motherfucking, ungodly, no pun intended, flood. Yeah, exactly. In an instant, this thing was eroded and washed out.
That's so interesting. It's significant. It really is significant. Although I don't think normies like us and the unprofessionals can actually tease out how significant.
I counter this with, okay, all this historical stuff is great, but where are the modern instances? Where is the modern God? Where is he?
Right.
Why does he just exist in history? Like, where is he? I mean, we see it through we see it through humanity. Yeah. Like, we see godly things through humanity, but we also see like the worst through humanity. Where is the intervening?
Yeah, we killed him.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
COVID killed him.
Yeah.
He got the Wuhan.
Yeah.
There is also the perspective of we're not as bad off as we could be.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So, yes, I agree immensely with that.
Like, common grace is a thing, meaning, you know, if left to ourselves without God at all, we probably would kill ourselves.
We would just really fuck it up quickly.
Like, without any semblance, even if you don't see it, you don't, there's another realm, you don't get it. God is kind of constantly involved with halting evil in some sense, right?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
I mean, this isn't heaven, right? I mean, if he halted it completely, I mean, that would be a sense of heaven, right?
Yeah,
like, that's the.
But then you'd
goal.
have no purpose,
right? Like,
if everything is good, then there is no purpose, and then that just
what was
sucks.
it? My 9-year-old daughter the other day said, what would be the point of life without death? She was like, why? I mean, basically living forever.
9-year-old
what would
thinking,
be the point?
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's some pretty impressive clairvoyance.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That's, I haven't thought about it that way, but, you know, and I say, as I get older, I find more peace with mystery. I feel like I used to think I needed everything to be answered.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point where I just nothing's going to give you the perfect answer out there.
No, there's not. And
why can't I pee as far as I used to? You just don't even care about that no
There's
more.
some history.
It's a prostate issue, I think, isn't it?
It just goes down now.
But there's to that point, man. There is a point where, yes, I want to know more and more and more, but the more you know, the more it becomes daunting, and the more you find yourself, and we've repeated it ultimately on this show more than once, the more you find yourself looking into the abyss, and the more you find the abyss staring back, and you're like, wow, this is scary. I would like to turn back time and be a little more ignorant.
Yeah.
And a little more happy in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, literally I know there is an ultimate revealing at some point, and even modern science through quantum processing and there's a lot of convincing evidence that there's a lot of stuff that we have no clue of how it works.
Yep.
We can't even sense it. It's there, but we have no sense of it.
Yeah, there was an interesting, I didn't get to read the whole thing, but it was an article that was about basically quantum physics and what happens after you die. And I wish I could go back and come back here with a summary. Go reread it, come back with a summary. But it's basically just saying that there are definitely some things we just don't understand about where our mind, like
our consciousness,
and where it goes after we die. And
there's a lot of revealing studies out right now that our consciousness is, in fact, we're all tied together somehow.
Yeah.
And that's, that all falls in line with
panpsychism. That's what you're talking about.
Or religious doctrine. Like, you are from my flesh.
Okay, I thought of the word I was trying to think of whenever we first embarked on this path.
Not the other word of not humble, the opposite of humble.
Hubris.
Hubris. Huh.
Yeah, hubris.
Yep.
Okay, so but maybe that's exactly what you're talking about. Like right now, hubris is this reckless confidence.
Yeah.
Right. This and right. That speaks to our study. It's like, okay, well, what we learned from our study, right? The fourth most interesting point was whenever an answer was made with hubris, it was more likely to be incorrect. And that's exactly what you're talking about there is, okay, well, we're getting the to the point within physics and maybe no knowledge per se that we have to recognize that there are things we can't know. Like, we have to be okay with that. And that's, well,
what's interesting too about that is, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the tendency for me to be convinced of something by someone is for that person to be gracious, careful, right? Like,
not convincing.
For me,
not convincing.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think you can be convincing and still have those things, but like, I think of the guys who are like militant and come across as a kind of a jerk, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying they're never right, but I don't tend to be convinced by those type of people.
No.
Fire and brimstone.
Yeah, like they.
No,
my favorite.
Exactly. People sniff that out, and they're like, I don't want anything to do with this.
My favorite quote is like, a lion will never have to tell you it's a lion. Like, you just know. They don't. And the more people proclaim they are something, the more full of shit they are.
And that doesn't mean that a person has to come to you like, I don't know. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's more of a. It's a humble, like, okay, let's sit, talk through this together, understand this together, and like a willingness to kind of like, even if they're way smarter than me, to kind of come to my level and say, hey, let's walk through this, right? Not
That's exactly what we need in United States politics at the moment.
Okay, good point.
There's a lot of hubris going around in American politics.
Yeah,
and a lot of, as many people love him, our commander-in-chief uses a lot of absolutes.
I know. Do you think he's just trying to be comical? I'm trying to give him some
I think
praise.
he is the world's greatest troll.
Okay. Define troll, because I encountered that.
The world's greatest instigator who knows how to get attention. And like Jerry Jones says, it doesn't make a fuck if it's good or bad attention. You're getting attention, and that's all that matters.
Did he really say that? I'm sure he did.
That's paraphrasing him, obviously, but
Jerry Jones is. I can't believe that guy's still alive.
Yeah, I don't get attention, good or bad. It don't fucking matter. I'm Jerry Jones. I'm gonna go chill on my yacht. Peace.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That was such a good point. It deleted what I was thinking in my brain.
This has been a really good conversation.
It really has. Yeah. Okay, so we all can remember just
had to chill.
Blacker.
Oh, here we are with the black and white. Yep.
I know, right? Oh, God. It's like, it seemed to me that during our childhood, things were more black and white.
Don't compare
than what
mine
they
a
are
chance
now.
to your childhood. It was obviously different.
Yeah, right?
I remember the days when the slaves were cooking my fish on the beach.
I know.
Remember when I was in my sandals on the beach of old Nantucket.
I was being fed grapes and fanned when I noticed
Fanned with a fine feather.
the fish was slightly undercooked.
And I yelled at Raoul. Raoul,
You stupid bastard, do you even know what you're doing?
12 lashings for you, sir.
That's
With his head.
Sorry, Doc.
no, it's cool. I'm trying with like my fingernails to hang on to my thought through all
I
that.
was just going to say, if you still remember your thought after all that, I love you.
Daddy, will you tell Carlos that he needs to take over the fish cooking for now?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So follow the line of history back to fire and brimstone. It seems to me like people were spoken to by very extreme viewpoints. Like the more extreme the viewpoint, the more certain it was, the more convincing it was in our very recent past. And now, and I would attribute it to long form media, but now people are much more distinguishing. They're much more, like you said, they're much more convinced by grace and room within an argument. I mean, less certainties
to a large extent.
Pussies.
I mean, there's you.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Yeah,
That's
what happened to us.
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue. That's what's wrong with us.
Continue.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Are you asking me a question or?
No, I'm just kind of trying to connect a through line of history to, because I can remember, maybe a pastor from my youth who spoke very confidently about, biblical themes. And then just last week, I listened to a very biblically based podcast, which was more convincing but less confident about those themes, much more allowing for question and
so do you think that's a good or a bad thing?
So what
we're doing is this could be the truth.
I think it's a good thing.
This could be the truth. You fuck up, you die, you go to hell.
That feels like a hubris to me.
But I'm telling you, it's okay if you mess up and down and if you do me, you still may go to hell. Just because that's what you need to hear me say to get to this point of don't fuck up. So is that a good thing or a bad thing that we're changing?
So I would say, first of all, I mean, not that this is the most important part, but there is a difference between. So when we're talking fire and brimstone, I'm assuming you're thinking of your pastor preaching.
Sure.
So preaching is a different dynamic. Than it is, I would say, in like a one-on-one counseling discussion environment. Like,
sure,
preaching is intended to be I'm speaking to you about a scripture, right? And the nature of that is that they're going to be, it's oratory. Like they're telling you, expositing the scriptures, explaining them to you.
Okay,
is the idea, right? So, I'm only saying that to say that there's not a lot of room to. I mean, you're going to need to be like telling people one thing or another, right? And so you're going to have to decide whether or not you're good with what that guy's teaching or not. I mean, that's, to me, he's telling you, like if he's scaring you into hell and all that kind of stuff. I mean, maybe you're okay with that, maybe you're not. I don't know. But
and okay, so this is interesting. It seemed like in the 80s and in the 90s,
scaring you into heaven. Sorry.
Scaring you into heaven, right? Okay, telling you the truth.
I think it works both ways.
Yeah, telling you the truth for your own good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but before the internet revolution, people were very much confined to their locality. Okay, of viewpoint. Also, then the internet happened, and all of a sudden, we're able to act. Unless you went to university, obviously, but like if you grew up in your community, you went to your church. You usually went to the church that your parents went to, and maybe they had changed churches, but so you had this like locality of viewpoint that you had access to, unless you went to the library and you sought out like different viewpoints. Now it seems like we just freely have access every day in and day out to different or people who think differently than us, and yeah, so that's.
I mean, I do.
Could some of the exposition? Could some of the exposition have gone with our locality? Boy, that's a tough concept.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't know that if I am going to listen to a sermon, that I'm not expecting to be able. I'm expecting to be able to walk away with what, essentially what is the main idea of that verse that they're talking about, or chapter, or whatever else. and there could be subpoints to that. But then, like, how does that apply to me? Like, how does that apply to my life, essentially? So, I don't know that I'm not looking to get, like, it's not a conversation.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know that I'm looking to be convinced in that environment, if that makes sense. I'm really more looking to, like, okay, help me understand what this verse says and how it applies to my life. I'm not really looking to, like, be, again, convinced of, like, should I be killing a 5-year-old kid or whatever?
That seems like
they're
an
not
extreme.
doing that, and they're not trying to do that either.
Right.
Whereas, you know, if I'm having a conversation with somebody that is where we're trying to figure out what's black or white or gray, I tend towards a person that's gracious with me. And again, it doesn't mean that they don't have opinions. They're going to, I mean,
sure.
You know what I mean? And that they're not going to express that opinion, but, like, okay, explain to me why you have that opinion, right? Like, not just there's some of that too, right? Like, I want to be convinced. I don't want you to just yell at me and tell me something. Like, okay, tell me why I should actually believe that.
Yeah. Or more importantly, why you should change your prior opinion of the matter.
Sure, or opinion or whatever that is, right? Like, somebody just yelling at me and telling me this is how it is. I mean, hopefully I'm not that kind of parent to my kids, for example. Like, hopefully I'm I mean, you know what I mean? Like, as they get older, especially, hopefully I'm giving some understanding to why I'm telling them yes or no.
Sure, yeah. It's difficult to do when they're 2. I've noticed that.
Yeah, of course.
There's definitely a black and
There's
white
a difference.
Yes or no. You cannot. No, you cannot jump off of the countertop onto the hard floor.
No, you cannot put that in your nose.
No, you cannot play with that sharp knife. That'll. Yeah,
right.
No,
I still deal with that. I mean, I deal with my, 11-year-old, almost 12-year-old son. Like, I still struggle with the whole. And this is what my parents used to say to me, like, well, I'd say, like, he'd say, why to me? And I'd be like, I don't have to tell you why. That's like that is my tendency.
Yeah.
Because my parents said the same thing to me, like, oh, I don't need to give you a reason why.
Yeah.
You just do what I say, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I do think there's probably a point where there, an explanation is necessary, but there's also times where I think you have to just figure out, like, okay, are they ready for that explanation?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and if you're a wise person, and a just person, like, you have the capability of adjusting and conveying that to them in that way.
Yeah,
you're adaptable.
But also, there's definitely nothing wrong with just telling your kids something and saying, it's because I said to do it.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
You have to be a parent too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you don't have to guide them to the truth in their own thinking.
No.
You can educate them.
I think there's a point where you can tell, okay, they're ready
for a reasoning. Yeah.
To understand, like, some part of this that.
Yeah, and maybe that is.
That they don't get, right? Like.
Yeah, that's
and then there's
proportional. It's proportional
like
to the severity of the consequence, right?
Yeah.
Well, and they're also kids. You could sit there and explain it to them until you're blue in the face. They still might not get it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay just to say, you know what?
Yeah.
Get in there and goddamn clean your room, or I'm going to rip your head off.
Yeah,
I'm not going to explain to you the million different reasons why this is good for you.
Exactly right.
Like,
yeah. But if you're sitting there watching your daughter color a picture and you see obviously she should use a blue where she's using an orange,
right?
You might opt to have the discussion with her about, okay, why should that be blue? But then she's like, okay, fuck you, I'm using orange. So and you're like, okay, use orange. Go for it.
Is that the correlation between God and parenting and the Old Testament God? Like, at that phase, you are an Old Testament God to your kids. This is the way, no other way, or else here's the punishment.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, right.
Versus as they age, as they get older, as civilization ages and gets older, it's like, okay, here's the guidelines, here's the reasoning.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that that's correct, where yes, at some point you need to be the Old Testament God, go spend a day at the local high school.
Oh yeah, they are in need of some Old Testament gods. Yeah.
Well, so like the answer. Well, one of the answers.
Those kids have been explained to all their life. This is why you can't do it now.
It's a good point, bro.
Yeah, so you need some repercussions.
That's right.
Touche. That's good.
But at a young, more foundational age, like
Yes.
those consequences should be concreted in your head by, I don't know, like age 8 or something.
But probably before then.
Yeah.
Well, and like,
in my humble opinion, I don't want to be too hubris here.
Yeah, I do. I'm
like I said,
all about it.
like I said, so when I said that earlier about the whole, and I don't know if this is a problem for you or not, but the problem of evil, right? How can a good God allow evil? Essentially, like why? That doesn't jive for me,
Why does he allow tornadoes?
Yeah, or I mean,
or
any evil,
rapists.
but like,
Yes.
Yeah.
but
Same thing. People die.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think one of the answers to that is that has been given is, well, because, what we may mean, because typically evil happens because of things we do and things we decide, neglect. What we may mean for evil, God ultimately means for good.
Okay.
So there's an arc.
There's an arc. There's a storyline, right? Like there could be things like there could be good out of an evil that we may never see in our lifetime. Like we could die, and then
the good from
afterwards
comes,
there could be something good that came from this evil that occurred. That God that we can't see or foresee, but that God in His all-knowing plan, understanding, he knows, right?
Yeah. You have to know me. My mind automatically always goes to the Holocaust.
Oh yeah, me too. Sure.
Yeah.
What good came out of that?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And like you
do we
said,
have a censor button?
Okay,
ready here?
we're only one lifetime
Well, we may
removed
not
from that.
We may not see that. Maybe we haven't seen it yet. I mean, maybe there are things that people could point to that they're aware of, but like
maybe eventually, because of that Holocaust, a Holocaust never occurs.
But the Holocaust ended because good triumphed in the end, right?
We assume that. Okay, so that argument's being made, right?
And it has been.
Well, it's continuing.
There's a new angle each and every day.
Yeah.
Would the shoe industry be where it is today without the Holocaust? There's a lot of shoes got destroyed during the Holocaust.
Wow.
A lot of shoes got destroyed.
Wow.
Tell Clyde to mark that segment down so we can clip it out.
Yes. Okay, we just got canceled.
I'm just saying.
Oh, wait,
I
look.
mean,
here he texted us.
Yeah.
Canceled.
I knew.
Canceled.
We didn't even put it out yet.
Oh, you're on it, bro.
The
Good
Whiskey
job,
Bros
Clyde.
as a whole do not condone each individual opinions of each other. Fuck, I can't even do a disclaimer right now. I'm so nervous. We're all about to be smote.
But I get what you're saying, and I think you're right to a large degree. Like there's an arc to the history that answers the theosophy question.
And I think the free will thing comes into the picture too. Like he can't control one aspect of humanity, but only do a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? So he can't stop the rapist, and then because you're going to be like, well, why can you stop the rapist, but you can't stop this? I think free will does come into the picture at some point.
The case of tornadoes, It's like, okay, humans, here is a well-known path of tornadoes across.
Obviously, tornadoes don't have anything to do do with free will, so I don't know where you're going.
No, it does. Yes, it does. Let me get to it. Shut up and listen.
I think he's talking about P. Diddy.
No. Free will.
It's P. Diddy.
We have the free will to build our dumbass houses right in the middle of a well-known path of tornadoes from Chicago all the way down to us.
Okay, good
And
point.
I'm saying the good Lord is like, well, here's, you know where they're at. Maybe not fucking put your houses there.
And then the same thing with the
And we're like,
hurricane.
no, it's a good place to build. Good groundwater shit. Fucking trailer park's gone. What happened?
Same thing with the hurricanes. Don't build on the coast.
But if you did,
don't build on water.
Yeah, if you did build on the coast, then you could figure out how to make hurricane-proof architecture.
Can you? I mean, why haven't we yet then?
Money.
Well,
you can.
Hurricane-proof? That's
levees,
like saying tornado-proof.
Our commissioner, Precinct 2, his house is 100% hurricane-proof.
Well, yeah, but where does he live?
With nowhere around. Tornadoes, yeah. But
it's
still,
not tornado-proof. I would argue that. No, it's not. There's nothing.
Yeah,
it's not.
Well, you would
Nothing's
get
tornado-proof.
if you had your society in Tornado Alley, you would get really good at detecting tornadoes. You'd get really good at warning signs. You'd get really good at.
Have you not seen every time a tornado comes through there the damage? If we're really good at it, why is there so much damage?
We still put up billboards and stuff. Yeah, I got you.
I mean, we may be really good at it, but
we're
really good.
Trailer houses,
and we're really good with hurricane detection.
But
then you get stupid people like, I was born here, I'm going to die here.
That's free will.
It is.
It is our own free will to continue to repopulate our dumbass civilization right smack in the middle of Tornado Alley.
Yeah,
100%.
We've talked about 3 religions. I have a need to talk about the other 2. So this is what in Hindu and Buddhism they call dharma, is like learning the hard lessons.
Well, apparently,
we call it a different D.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
California, earthquakes, wildfires, and people are like, my house burned down. Well,
and we're not judging. We've all been there. No. We've all been a dumbass.
Of course.
Yeah.
I just try not to continue the same habit.
So
you live in Tornado Alley with the rest of us, bro.
Yeah, but I live in the great state of Decatur, Texas, where tornadoes just somehow most of the weather goes around us.
You knock on that wood. Knock on that wood.
Oh yeah.
Touch it. Touch that wood.
Okay, so you made me think of another question, which may be too hard and deep, but
never said those in your life before, huh?
Yeah, no, you just made me forget my question. That's
he's never been told that before.
No. It's too hard and deep.
I went to call it quits. The Whiskey Bros went too hard and too deep.
Oh man, I totally forgot my question.
You forgot.
Okay, in the meantime, beauty pageants are bullshit.
They are.
What?
They are bullshit.
Are they?
No, they are 100%.
Okay. You know you're talking about our president, sir.
I don't care. Beauty pageants. Beauty pageants. Ever beauty pageants.
We have the most amazing beauty pageants.
Ah,
They're all bullshit.
Okay, get to it. Why?
Why do we even have beauty pageants?
How dare you mock Honey Boo Boo?
I don't know, because they're all bullshit.
Why do you think that?
Name another sport that you can cheat at and still participate.
How do you cheat at beauty pageants?
Oh, name a sport that you can cheat, and then I'll continue my story. Baseball. Can you take?
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. Right?
Yeah, you can cheat it all up until you get caught.
Until you get caught. Beauty pageant is the only one that you cheat at. Every beauty pageant, and they I don't know what the word I'm looking for.
So makeup. Fake tans.
It should be illegal. Because is it really a beauty pageant?
Or it's a makeup pageant?
It's a makeup pageant.
Oh. But they make them do a talent portion.
Which is the worst part of that freaking thing. Have you seen that? The talent portion of a beauty pageant is horrible.
I've seen a few for a little while.
But shouldn't a beauty pageant be zero makeup?
A beauty pageant is
earrings, zero everything?
A beauty pageant is, so that is Miss America, right? Like Miss America's
yes,
beauty.
That's a beauty pageant.
Yeah. Which there's enough paint on them chicks to paint my house.
Yeah.
Which is a lie.
Check this out.
It's bullshit. No, I'm not checking this out.
Show you how I afforded this car.
I afforded this car.
Okay.
Oh, looky there.
OnlyFans.
Quick. Online
yeah, that's exactly right.
The final question of Miss Universe is very important.
It's a time that you will really know the girl. With all that pressure on you, have to stay calm and give a confident answer.
Fake eyelashes.
Be yourself.
Bullshit. Be yourself.
I would eat everything in the world. I would eat everything twice. So everywhere I go, people serve me things twice.
I've actually based my passion in my life on the answer I gave to the question that I was asked that night.
I would speak to the children, tell them that they are the foundation
World
of
peace.
every nation.
Okay, so I don't think that's a parody. There was one that I'm trying to. I remember that the answer is just awful. This is bad.
I remember my sister used to watch these back, in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And she had fun kind of watching it and whatnot. And I'd walk in on it, and I remember you could see that last little part without the, and they choose whoever Miss Venezuela.
Was that a drum roll you were just doing? I didn't know if you were trying to speak Spanish on air or because you got to roll your R.
I got a good tongue.
It was a drum roll though.
It was a drum roll.
Okay, there's drums right there, bro. You could have just went over there.
I could have.
And Will Carpenter just kicked in the door.
Yeah.
Somebody say drummer in a weather report.
But I feel like people kind of watched it then. I couldn't. I've not seen or heard or looked for a Miss America.
I don't think I've ever watched one in my lifetime.
20 years.
It's been a long time.
Like I don't even.
It's been a long time. I've not seen.
Do they even still do it?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, Miss Texas, Miss Universe.
It's a thing, though.
Oh,
I guess
And what's even creepier than those are the kids.
Yeah,
like the 5 and under.
Yeah, I know that.
My God,
I've seen that.
This is the one that I was talking about. And with a beautiful Mario Lopez.
Polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map.
Amy Teagarden.
Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future.
How is Mario Lopez keeping a straight face?
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Oh, that is Mario Lopez.
Hold on a second. Let me do this. Ma'am, what you have just said is the most insanely idiotic thing I have ever heard. At nowhere in your rambling, incoherent discussion did you come anywhere close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone is now dumber for having listened to, what does he say?
That was a spelling bee or something. What was
it? It was on Billy Madison.
But then he goes,
I award you no points. May God have mercy on your soul.
Almost had it. There's that last line. I couldn't remember. It's the best.
But maybe that's what it is. Can you hand the dumbest answer you can think of and still make it seem credible by your presence alone?
She failed at that immensely. She did. Like, there's a way.
I was a little enamored with her presence. I won't lie.
Okay, her presence. Yes. Her presence. Wrapped up under the gift wrap. Yep, her presence under there. That's what you were. So what is your point? They're bullshit, right? Like, what is the overall agenda of your note?
It's just their bullshit.
You mean Honey Boo Boo will not potentially lead the free nation of the United States of America at some point?
Not.
Okay, so I'm still
saying so.
We've
took drugs and everything else out of all other sports and everything, boxing, anything you can think of. We never have talked about beauty pageants in the worlds of
makeup, fake boobs, spray
earrings,
tans,
everything, fake tans, everything, fake hair, all of it.
Okay, so
if it was a true beauty pageant, you would just get up there and
so it's a competition that tries to pick the best of very surface level qualities.
That's how they exist now, right? Yeah, that's what your point is. Yes.
Yeah. So the competition is how well the contenders can exhibit very surface level qualities.
Yeah, except for the explanation.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like, are you smart? I don't know.
Yeah, and why do we do that? Like, if it's a beauty pageant, do we really give a shit why you think the Iraqs can't read a map?
Like, such as South Africa?
Such as?
I mean, in terms of it being like a real valuable thing, like, I agree.
Let's be honest.
I don't understand.
We really want them just to show up in the bikini phase of the beauty pageant, walk on stage and let us Google and vote and go home.
I just don't understand the point.
I don't either.
So here I'm reading the history of beauty pageants.
Yeah, but you're reading this from MissPlanetInternational.com.
that doesn't count.
Like
it's automatically a bias source.
Go where everyone
don't
goes.
underestimate my
Wikipedia,
ability
sir.
to research such as the Iraqs, okay?
Okay, gotcha.
This has not been 100% fact check. No, look at that.
But okay, from the gist of this, it coincides with the Industrial Revolution,
She
right?
said she was a U.S. American.
The U.S. Americans, such as coincides with the industrial, ergo modern marketing.
Yeah,
sex sells.
Okay, so
there I go back to, aren't we really just wanting them to walk out on the bikini phase and let us vote and then go home for the day?
It's literally just a sex sales thing.
Okay. So for once, I think this is the history of Whiskey Bros. This has never happened.
Have we? Hold on, let me real quick before you go there.
Yeah.
Have we had any trans people try to get into pageants?
Oh, yeah,
is that
100%.
a thing?
Yeah.
Probably,
but they haven't succeeded, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm asking the question.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so PBS says beauty pageants have been around at least since ancient Greece. But, I mean, same thing, sex sales. Always has been, always will.
I think they were called slaves back in the day. Where they'd get up on stage and you'd be like, 50 coins for that one.
Yeah.
Yes. What was your question, Doc?
Yeah.
No, my point was that never before in the history of Whiskey Bros have we agreed with the dykes.
What does that mean? What do you mean agree with the dykes?
What do the dykes say?
What do the dykes say?
That they should just walk out in bikinis.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, but they also say maybe.
Google that.
Did Clyde tell you that?
What do the dykes think about beauty pageants?
You're saying lesbians would say, "Hey, just come out in the."
I think so. Yeah.
Not lesbians. That's different. Yeah. Lesbians are different than dykes.
How?
Yes, Doc. Explain to us how lesbians are different than dykes.
I just feel like the hole over here. Doc's
slur for lesbians.
Come
digging.
on.
I just keep digging. Okay, so dykes are the male-ish.
Okay, so they exhibit more male.
No,
qualities?
Ty Rambo, shut your mouth.
More male
and let Doc
dynamics
explain.
within the relationship.
I won't put words in your mouth.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking bad about dykes.
No.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's like within lesbianism. Okay, I'm sounding like I know
that a
something
word?
about
Oh
this.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, within lesbianism, the dyke character quality is the more masculine. So they tend to kind of seek out and model and exhibit more male
of a heterosexual male. So like, me like pretty girl on stage. Me vote good. Basic instincts.
Why does the dyke have to be a caveman?
I'm saying that's the basic instinct.
Dude, what are you saying, bro?
It's the primitive instinct of all masculinity. Like, me like me want. Me vote good.
Jeez.
Yeah. Nice tits. Score 10.
Why the term dyke is often a term of derision. I don't know, but
where did the word dyke come from? Because a dyke's like a pair of pliers, dude. It's like, give me those dykes over there.
Yeah, if he looked it up on Google, it wouldn't tell him.
It probably wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay, but also being suspicious of a beauty pageant as a measure of quality would also align with second, third, and fourth wave feminism.
Say that again. What now?
Yeah.
As a beauty pageant.
You know way too much about this subject.
Yeah.
Fourth wave feminism, not to be construed or confused with second or
I don't
first
actually
wave.
know what I don't know what that's
fourth
a
wave.
Thing.
No, what were
I
you
know
saying?
second wave is a thing.
The
third
first
wave
thing
is a
you
thing.
said.
It has changed. Yeah.
Okay. So a third wave feminist, for instance, would say a beauty pageant is just the paternal aspects of society coming out in the worst way.
Okay, yeah. Not disagreeing.
Yeah, so we kind of agree with those people.
So what with fourth wave?
I think that's where like feminism and transism like separate, so that it just feminism got implicated in a lot of bad stuff after that point, as far as like hating trans.
Okay. I don't know how to comment further.
That's okay, let's just let that's a dead horse.
Yeah, I would really love to chat it up, but
I know.
Don't know what to say.
I mean, is there a positive thing that comes out of it at all. Like in terms of, okay, this is what it means to be a woman. Like, I don't know. Is there any
a virtuous feminine aspect to it?
I mean, 100%. I don't think so, because you're saying fake is what it means to be a woman.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing original about what happens on those stages. Their speeches are usually typed up for them, because this is what you get when they're not. You get the Iraqs.
That girl's speech could not have been
nobody
off the cuff.
Yes, but normally everything is rehearsed, and obviously the makeup's fake as shit.
Sure.
Mostly the boobs are, which I'm not against those. I want to put that out there. But everything else.
How do you really feel?
So, but even so, I mean, the boobs. Now you're saying, if that's what we look at and think, okay, that's what woman really is, then we're saying women are fake.
By the way, I'm not.
Is that what you're saying, Ty Rambo?
I'm asking the question.
Are you saying women are fake?
No, I'm not saying that I agree with anything. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, don't agree with anything.
To a degree, yes, I'm on the same page as you, and it also advocates. I hate to say the health factor plays in, but it does. Obviously, starving yourself and anorexia, and that's not a good thing. Like, some of these women don't treat themselves very good either. But you're also exiting
men too.
Men too. Exiting the sex part of it, non-male, non-female, having a pageant with that. They don't have universal dad bod competitions. I mean, they're not putting. They might, but they're not mass marketing people like me on stage, because I'm not the epitome of a perfectly healthy human being.
I think we just write this down. That's what we're about to. We're Wise County's first dad bod.
Well, so
competition.
The only thing I can do in this situation is say, okay, if I try to put myself in a similar position for men, would I be pleased with some show that was like, or some event that basically said, hey, this is what makes you the most manly man? Would I look at that and think, okay, well, those are just characterizations. Those aren't like real. That's just what society says a real man is, right? Like, I'm sure there would be things that I would be bullshit. I'm sure there would be things I'd be like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
right, but that's not what they're doing.
Like, I don't like to hunt. They probably have some hunting thing, right? Like, I'm not a big hunter.
Yeah,
right.
But that's not what they're doing in beauty pageants. They're not saying, hey, this is what makes a great woman, or it's beauty.
Beauty, I guess, but that's a.
They're not saying, hey, this is the beauty pageant. Plus, this lady knows a lot about maps.
Well, but they try to like.
They're also.
Is that the point of them talking? The point is supposed to be, is this person an intelligent woman?
Yeah.
I believe so, because I think the end goal with it, like the Miss Americas and stuff, is you want some, because she does. I think if she wins Miss America, again, I've never seen the episode, so I don't know what they do. But I think she goes around and talks to kids and talks to young girls and blah, 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 and all that. Yeah. So good probably comes from it. But again, if you're going to sell something as a beauty pageant, does it make more sense to have chick up there completely clean, no makeup, no fake anything, just you, and we don't care about if you know about maps?
Yeah,
they're obviously not carting Carla out with type 2 diabetes, a half a leg, in a wheelchair, saying, "Hey, give her an equal opportunity here."
I don't think nobody's saying that.
No, I'm saying it's all about sex.
So I think the gig was up, and that's what Billie Eilish
why the note said
tried to do.
Bullshit.
No, I think that's what Billie Eilish like made her image on, was this rebellion against dressing up and makeup.
With the whole t-shirt thing.
But then she sold in, or sold out. I don't know.
And bikini pictures.
And is there Billie Eilish bikini pictures?
Oh yeah.
Oh, she became. Now she's very done up.
Oh, well, she's always.
My daughter was informing me.
She's always had colored fake hair, so one could argue, well, that's an asset of fakeness.
She stopped that, and she's been hiding under that t-shirt.
Oh yeah, we all knew that. We all knew that she's a sleeper, right? Yeah. Shouldn't. What?
Indeed.
What? Indeed. Don't act like you fuckers are innocent over here. Don't even.
They're on their phone right now.
Yeah. Billie Eilish bikini pictures. Billie Eilish nude.
Yeah.
Safe search off. Safe search off.
Don't do that.
All right. So have we established, like, okay, what is the ultimate depiction of what a woman should be? What is not a depiction?
Well, no.
Not a depiction. If you are to speak to your child,
So we're off of beauty pageants now.
Well, no, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Well, no, this
that ain't
plays
got nothing
into
to do
that.
with beauty pageants. That's my whole point about this.
Okay.
Is they putting too much into beauty pageant? Because if it was just a beauty pageant, we wouldn't ask them any fucking questions besides what's your name.
Well, I don't know about
South
that.
Carolina would
I'm
have
not
trouble
so-
answering that.
not sure about
Something in me says I shouldn't agree with you, but God,
we wouldn't.
I can't help.
We
but
would
agree
say
with you.
walk across the stage, do some poses.
Yeah.
What's your name? Where are you from? Get off the stage. Let the next chick come.
So
if it were, hold on, what? That is the way that it should be done. If what?
It's a beauty pageant.
If it's a beauty,
I think we need to call
So-
it something different besides
So
beauty pageant.
what I think Ty is thinking is you're reducing beauty down to visual,
physical.
All right, let me throw
Perspective.
this at you. Was that chick hotter before she answered that dang question or afterwards?
So she failed. She didn't win.
Well, maybe
you
I'm
didn't
wrong.
answer his question.
Maybe
Maybe
I'm
she
wrong
did.
then.
The answer to the question is a resounding yes. Yes.
Or maybe I'm wrong because of what he just said. She did fail. So if she answers, so if you get a visually smoking hot chick and then she answers a somewhat, I guess.
Your question was before she answered.
Yeah, was she hotter?
Questionable.
Yeah,
You could say
before. Yes.
somewhat
no, so now I'm
questionable.
going back to beauty pageant because before my mind was like,
100% hotter than after she answered.
yeah,
Yes.
but where I'm getting
Bingo.
at is my question beforehand was a beauty pageant should just be walk on the stage, everybody looks on you, you vote for your beauty, you get off. But what Doc said, that does, I guess, add beauty if she was to answer that question correctly.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, world peace.
Because is smart hot chicks hotter than dumb hot
Yes.
chicks?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends on what night it is and what you're looking
If
for.
if it's the same
Long term, yes.
if we're taking girl that's hot, looks the same, smart and dumb, absolutely.
Yes. So
We're all going to be in the fucking doghouse.
Maybe
after this
that's
episode.
why-
Sleeping on the couch.
maybe that's why they put the questions and singing and do backflips and shit into the pageant world.
But that's the other side of that. Hot, and then if she this is
hot and dumb.
dumb. Good Lord, I've got such a good vocabulary. Hot, and
Yeah,
dumb.
hot and dumb, bro.
South Carolina, you win.
I mean,
Win.
she's probably going to drop off of my radar completely.
Yeah.
just by nature of being dumb.
Good thing we don't have that problem anymore because we're all
I know, right?
happily married men.
But we all have daughters.
Yeah. So in essence, if we're having this conversation, what is the epitome of a woman you would want to have as a role model for your daughter?
Yeah. So
Me with tits.
Oh, there we go back to those
Oh my
questions
God.
of religion.
I know. No, well, and that's what I'm left doing
Right.
is
Opposite me,
pull-
obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Obviously. So pulling from my imagination, like, okay, these historical great women, like the medicine woman. You know? Yeah.
Quinn,
Quinn, the medicine woman.
Well,
right?
here's a little
You know?
disappointing news. She was an adult film star before she scored that role. Womp
Jeez.
womp.
Was she really?
Yes, she was.
Well,
Dr.
there
Quinn
we know
was
what Doc's tech.
Safe search off. Safe search off.
Google.
No,
Google.
but I'm left pulling from some historical, like, okay, Quinn was it Dr. Quinn?
Just so everybody understands, we are mansplaining
Yes, we are.
everything right now. There's
Yeah.
not one woman in here who could say who really needs to be answering these.
I know.
They're still listening. They're all screaming at us
They're
right
like,
now.
you.
Yeah, but the most idealized female role is Mary, and yeah, Mary.
No,
Mother
no.
Mary?
I mean, no. Yes, but I mean, in current day, like somebody real physical and tangible that you can point to and have sit down and talk with your kid.
Okay, so that judge,
Judy?
Judy?
No, yeah, Judge Judy. No, that judge on the Supreme Court,
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Fail.
Ruth
Fell.
Bader Ginsburg? Is that your
Yeah. No, well, okay.
She gone, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gone.
But did you
But
mean
she was a reigning symbolic symbol of.
Okay, but what does that say about us? That you're going to say that your idea of a woman is someone that you only know very, very little about, that social media told you what you do know.
She could be a complete pedophile.
That's a really good point, bro.
Because I'm gonna go
really
with
good point.
I'm gonna go with my wife.
Well,
I'll expunge on that. Is this the right word? Was expunge?
Yes, expunge.
Yeah. I'll expunge on that. Our wives, like our wives, our social network, like our social circle, our network. We have like some really fucking amazing mothers. Mothers is the key word to me. Like a nurturer, a provider, a sympathizer, an understander.
Is
a
it
giver.
Enough, is it enough to say that good mothers don't get notoriety?
Oh, fuck yeah. It's not
they
sexy.
Get notoriety every year. Like next week, they're going to get it.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Mother's Day. But you mean in the mainstream. It's not sexy.
Yeah.
You want a
think
real
of any symbolic
role model
Octo
providing
got
beauty
a lot
pageant?
Got a lot of stuff. So.
Well, yeah, she did get a lot of stuff in the end.
Yeah.
You want a real role model providing beauty pageant? Have all the moms, one kid on one tit and she's towing the other one. And I'm like, those are the winners. Those are the real women on this planet.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And here's the thing that I don't think women get enough credit for.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things they don't get enough credit for, but the other day I was thinking about how
putting up with men.
That and and raising kids.
I was gonna say toughness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like giving birth to 3 children, many times more than that. Some people and just the resoluteness that I see in my wife, and you probably all seen yours too. Just like there's times that she literally has to be like, quit. She didn't call me a pussy, but like quit being. a pussy.
But you know that's what she's
like. Wake up.
Yeah. And that's fantastic.
And you're
awesome.
like, and I need that.
You need that.
I need her
Yes.
to just like slap me and be like, quit feeling sorry for yourself and wake up. And I'm like, damn,
Is that when you went home last week and you were like, Chad's still making fun of my driveway?
Shut up and concrete it, Ty.
It's like,
does she call you Tyler when she's mad?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, just Ty. I don't. So my name is Ty. I haven't. It's not.
There's no
short for
Tyler.
me.
Okay, all right. So it is genuinely Ty.
But yeah, when I'm like feeling sorry for myself and like you just need a slap in the face, I'm just like just
get over yourself. I mean,
so not discounting my own wife.
That's why they hang out with me.
She's a fantastic role model and a mother, and I can't imagine being in her shoes and the things that she has to do for our kid. But overall, like if we're talking mothers, just in general, in our own little social network and circle, the mothers are extremely goddamn inspiring.
Okay, so the women historically who get praised are rather social justice-y.
Because it's the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Wow, yeah.
Social justice-y how?
Well, you think of okay, there's a problem. That's like we're talking about something we know nothing about, but
are you talking about women that tend to be like in the spotlight or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're screaming about some
like
social injustice.
The nurse who started the Red Cross, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like they tend to have the spotlight.
Yeah.
But maybe the real heroes would never get the spotlight because they're doing their
out doing it. They're in the goddamn trenches.
Yeah, they're doing their duty, and so they wouldn't get the spotlight.
But I guess that you also need the mouthpieces too. You need the town crier, right?
Yeah, or the person who says to society, "Oh, yeah, y'all are fucked up."
Yeah, it does. It causes an overall reassessment, consciousness.
Yeah. Okay, next episode, women's history.
This is a timely segment though for the upcoming Mother's Day.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy upcoming Mother's Day to all of our beautiful moms. So we will not be having a podcast next Sunday, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll be rubbing those feet, feeding them grapes, fanning them.
Does everyone have their gifts ready?
Fuck no.
No gifts.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I was going to get my wife a box of cigars.
Oh, yeah. That's maybe a bottle of whiskey. I didn't
Yeah,
think
a
about
bottle of
that.
whiskey.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Tough. Man.
What's your gift? Have you?
Maybe a new gun. Yeah.
I did buy my wife a wedding gift.
New lawnmower.
It was a gun.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But it was in the spirit of competition. Yeah.
I think it's something in the jewelry department, maybe. But we'll see.
Oh, man.
See, I'm lucky. I don't have to do none of that shit. Mine just wants me to cook lunch.
Nice, yeah.
And me and the kids pick up the house.
Hey, Yeah.
That's it, though. Just lunch. She still cooks dinner.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, the free parking. We should talk about the free parking.
Bum, bum, bum.
This has been such a gift for just local hysteria.
What just what happened with it? Tell me.
So a previously rich man has departed this town with all of his wares, real estate and whatnot, and another rich man has bought it up, including a prized parking lot.
Private, I think, is the word you're looking
prized
for.
And private.
Yes.
Is this guy from Decatur?
No.
Negative.
He's a transplant.
Neither one of them were.
You're talking about the parking lot.
The parking lot.
The parking lot.
I think a parking lot is.
It's the parking lot behind Trinity Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not, just so we're clear, there's not a lot of parking in front of Trinity.
There's not a lot of parking on the square. Period.
Yeah.
So this guy,
there's like 80 cars worth. So I mean, that's
this owner now has the audacity to say,
"Shut up!
You're now going to pay for these parking spots if you want to utilize them."
Yeah, I mean, you should pay like 25 cents, 50 cents to park on the square. Like you have a duty if you're going to park on the square to give towards the upkeep of that parking lot. So I would think you would pay some money for the ability to park in that parking space.
And so the owner.
Did you say 25, 50 cents?
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
Like how much could it cost?
Does that ever happen? I don't think there's ever been a 25-cent parking.
Okay, maybe
only
$1.
On the old school quarter thingies that you
I'll give you $1. Right?
20 years.
It's like I'm just imagining that parking lot and the number of cars that are in and out of that parking lot. If they want to like deposit $1 every time they pull in that parking lot, that does sound very reasonable.
No,
like they should.
No,
like
here's my
$1.
You already
it's private land.
Agreed. Yeah, it's now private land. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. However, that does not.
It was always private land. By the way,
and the other guy was like, "No, you guys. Here's the reason. You already are providing for that."
Precedent has been set. Sorry.
Oh, is everybody done? Do I have the table? Is it me? You already are providing for that parking lot by being a patron to one of his owned establishments on the square. The tenants pay rent. They pay good rent. The businesses thrive. They keep moving. Park because people have a place to park. They provide income and cash flow and revenue to the owners of the business and the proprietors, and then therefore the proprietors and the owners of the infrastructure and the real estate.
So what you're saying is it would all this would have been just fine if said rich persons would have just came in and bought the parking lot and not any of the buildings. Then he could have charged and it would have been fine?
No, that would have been a different story. Still.
Because you just said the reason why he shouldn't charge because he also owns the buildings that people are coming in. So if he just came in and bought the parking lot only, then you would be fine with him.
That's a different
charging.
situation. And no, I still wouldn't be fine. I would still bitch about it. What I wouldn't bitch about is if he bought it and he came in and improved it, ergo put a, 3 or 5 story parking garage, then okay. But he hasn't improved it. It's still the same. It still services a place or should service a place for employees to park, so on and so on.
No, I think it did.
Yeah, okay. Valid point.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Or utilize a validation system.
How much is it? Like 50 cents, 75? How much?
It's like $2 for an hour, $4 for 6.
$4? What?
$8 for 12, and then.
In Decatur?
Uh-huh.
The major point is
that seems like
people that are traveling here are not going to give a fuck.
Terribly high amount.
The local yokels, we are pissed off.
Okay.
Except Tom.
I'm just thinking if I go.
Tom is not. Tom is like, fuck it, I'm going to eat. I don't care.
If I go to Trinity Street for an evening, I'm going to buy a very nice cocktail to the tune of $10. I can't imagine. So I'm probably going to save my $10 on the parking and probably just walk.
Or park anywhere else, yes.
Anywhere else and walk.
I think that's the gist of this is. Oh.
So that wasn't well received, what this
It was not well received at all, no.
It's like...
It just seems a bit...
The Facebook warriors did not approve.
It seems a bit premature.
Yeah, it was very abrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like... I don't know. It seems like you're trying to be...
Greedy?
Yeah, like you're trying to be a Fort Worth, but it's not.
I mean,
it's not there yet.
At those prices, I can see why.
At any prices. I'm with him. You already own the building that you are leasing to said company.
To these businesses that rely
on people coming to it to get your rent money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're double dipping. You're already
definitely
getting
double
money.
dipping. Yes.
So what I think should have happened.
Eminent domain.
Sorry for all you business owners. He could have done this under the umbrella. And when I say he, I don't know. It could be they, them. I don't know who it is. All he would have had to done was say, hey, listen, business owners, I'm going to up your rent $20 a month.
I got a better idea, too.
What is it?
Okay, so he could have done that.
Yeah.
He could have said, okay, we are going to raise rent. And so I can...
justify buying this parking lot.
Buy the parking lot for your benefit. I'm going to upkeep it, but you need to put in towards the pot to keep. Okay, sure. Okay. Something else to consider is he could have instituted a voucher system. Okay. So
like Fort Worth does.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I want my businesses and my buildings to do better than all the other businesses on the square. And so if you go to my businesses, then they'll give you a voucher and
validate.
It'll validate. It'll validate your parking. And so that way, if you come to the square and you park, at least come to my business.
Yeah.
So that seems like a really good
So what you're saying
move.
is if you park in the parking lot, when you scan said sign, because that's how you pay, you have to scan to pay. Now, I don't know what happens if you don't scan. I don't know who polices it and all that jazz. But, so what you're saying, so for instance, we've already said Trinity Street. So you scan, you pay.
Yes.
When you go to Trinity Street, you get your $8 off your bill.
Yeah, and then you could do that, or maybe they scan. I don't know how technology works. Like they scan something on your phone, and it takes that charge away.
Off of it,
and that's a way that this said parking lot owner could have really supported the businesses in his building.
Now,
but then. Well, that's right.
Playing on your point, if this person had just bought a parking lot without owning any other real estate on the square, this falls under the same guise as tipping for counter service. Okay, now you've got to pay to park. Now you're going to order at the counter where nobody serves you literally anything. Nice one, by the way. Nobody serves you anything other than making your product and giving it to you. Now you have to pay tipping. When do the consumers just say, "Fuck it, I'm staying at home"? When do they have enough?
Well, God gave you that free will to do that, sir.
He also gave you legs.
Yeah.
To walk.
Like, to walk.
That's not the overall point of my statement, though. The point of the statement is when enough people have exercised their own free will and said, okay, I'm done, then your businesses start dwindling on the square.
Again, I don't know that he's worried about it because it's not his businesses. He owns the building.
The overall goal is to have somebody in that building providing you money as a tenant.
Correct, but
which people are going to vacate.
I would think that was the goal.
They probably also know that we're humans, and this will blow over in a month, and we'll never talk about it again.
Yeah, but
that's what we do.
Yeah, but it's a constant reminder to the people who pull up to the square and pull in said parking lot, and there's a sign, and they're going to go, okay, I think today I'm going to park a block away.
Let me throw this at you. So we keep throwing Fort Worth, South Lake, Roanoke, all the big cities.
South Lake, you don't have to pay for parking.
Nowhere.
Yep.
You've
That's
been
true.
through every place in South Lake, and you can verify that.
I can
100%.
verify it 100%.
Okay, so let's just not say South Lake. Let's say Fort Worth, because we know there's paid parking there. Somebody had to be the first, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
But they built parking garages.
Well,
no, I parked in a
eventually-
parking lot.
Yeah, those lots are
Hey.
there. Yeah.
Somebody had to be the first.
I mean,
it's probably coming no matter what.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Now,
that
I
may
could-
be true, but it just seems like it's not
yeah.
the right time for that.
When is the right time to tell people, hey, you're going to have to pay money to park in my parking lot?
I mean,
I don't think you
doesn't
start
have to
with
be
how
ever.
much is it? $3 an hour?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
might
know.
be
It's
never.
like $4.
I think it's a valid case for
Or-
eminent domain.
$4 an
City
hour?
needs this parking lot for the greater good of the public.
Yeah.
I don't think you start with that. Well, obviously the people are pissed off, but I don't think you start with
Yeah,
$4
but
an hour.
I don't know that they're pissed off at the $4. I think they're pissed off at the ideal of paid parking.
How pissed
Period.
off are people really?
Facebook pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed off. My wife actually
Man.
showed me.
Well, they were also Facebook
I'm acting
pissed
like an
about
idiot
the
to this,
Ashley's furniture. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Facebook.
was dumb.
Yeah, Facebook pissed off.
but also reality pissed off because there was a couple days there were no cars in that parking lot.
There is, but it's growing. Like
Yeah.
there's steadily
Those are out of towners.
getting-
It's summertime. People
Yeah.
are trickling in from out of town. They don't know any get better. To put a little protest group out
But
there.
again-
it would be nice to put a protest on
Again,
where does he live? Go park in front of his
Well,
house.
his address got posted on Facebook.
oh, he got what they call it, doxing.
Of course,
Yeah.
it did.
Got doxed.
Man,
Yeah,
Decatur is brutal.
yeah.
I love
Well,
you, Decatur.
Another party made a rebuttal that as part owner of that, and then it was just like, this is so out of touch. You obviously have nothing in common with the middle class man or human.
But you do know who has free parking?
That's right.
The Chief.
The Chief.
Cigar Bar.
Oh, yeah. That was
All
brilliant.
day, every day.
Yeah, he's got free parking and he posted it.
So
That's right.
now we can, if you need to go to the square, park at the Chief, buy a drink, cigar, and
No.
then we can start a hayride.
And he'll validate your parking.
He will.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you mean? No, you don't want us. You don't want people going in buying a drink and a cigar.
You said if you need to go to the square, park at the Chief.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
he'll
integrate.
validate your parking.
I'm trying to integrate the Whiskey Bros into this. We'll give hayrides to the square, but you have to buy.
Yeah.
You have to buy. You have to buy.
cost them more.
You
for
have to
the
buy
hayride.
a drink to go and a cigar, and you can smoke that on your ride from the Chief to the
Yeah.
square,
Smoke
Nice.
in a hayride.
or you can just hang out at the Chief's. Good place to
There
hang.
you go.
It's a proper cigar lounge.
Proper.
We're getting long in the tooth here, boys.
All right, how long have we
I think we should wrap it up on
Wrap it
toilet
up.
technology.
No, yeah.
A new invention.
I had this thought. I went and used a public facility,
Okay.
right?
Disgusting, aren't they?
I know. It's right.
Sometimes no,
It was not the convention center. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Right?
because those toilets are always shiny.
Yeah. And I walk in and said public facility and had this recognition.
You can come
right?
to the airport for shiny toilets also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just in case you're on that side of town.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yep.
Good to know, since we don't have the
Convention
Buc-ee's.
center, Buc-ee's, or the airport. But even Buc-ee's hadn't thought of this, and I
Okay.
don't know why.
All right.
Right? But I always try to like do my due diligence and
I thought it was going somewhere else. Than that.
yeah, and if
I feel like
if I'm
Doc's about
pissing
to
in
say,
a
pay someone to wipe your booty hole.
yeah, if I'm pissing in a sitter or pissing in a shitter. Yeah, right. You know, because you got some like
Pissing in a shitter. Are you talking
Yeah, if
about
I'm-
like a toilet bowl?
Yeah,
Oh,
a
bowl.
toilet, not a urinal,
not a
a
urinal.
toilet.
right. I walk up,
Okay.
and because there's no working unit on the wall itself.
Urinal is what they're
Urinal,
called. Yep.
right? And so I have to go into the stall. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna piss in the shitter.
Yep.
And
Do you sit down on this?
no, I don't.
Okay, good.
Never.
Only at home.
I never do. But with that said, I always kind of have my fellow man in mind, and especially if it's a
little gay.
no, really, yeah, it's like especially if it's a family restroom, for instance.
You're not going to piss all over the toilet.
Not gonna piss all over the toilet, and I'll even take my foot and kind of lift the seat up
Yeah.
if you know if I think somebody's gonna be sitting on there. So I'm taking a leak in here. I'm like, okay, why have we not made toilet seats automatic?
They have.
Yeah, the Japanese.
Yeah. They have automatic,
but I'm not in any restroom I've been in.
I'm guessing it's a money thing. Gas stations don't want to spend.
I mean, they got automatic
10,000.
faucets. They got automatic hand blowers.
Yeah,
they got automatic,
automatic
flushers.
everything.
They got automatic everything.
Yeah.
But still, you have to theoretically say you couldn't lift it up with your foot because you're not that agile,
athletic,
right? You have to touch the toilet seat
where somebody's booty's been.
Yeah, but automatic.
How pisses.
How does the automatic know if you have to poo poo or pee pee?
Well, maybe you just. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
I've seen them.
I was just wondering why haven't people?
It's got a camera. You just walk up and I'm like, number one.
Yeah. You got everything in the bathroom is automatic except the lifting of the toilet seat.
It doesn't bother me though. And you say that as opposed to somebody it's a chore to lift the seat.
It kind of is.
He's talking about it. It just could be extreme.
He doesn't want to touch it with his hands.
If it's really bad, I'm just pissing with the seat down.
I know, right? It's okay, screw everybody that comes after me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
sorry about your
piss
luck,
in the
buddy.
shitter. Yeah.
But you're acting like it's.
No, I'm just saying it's there's
I think he's
a
talking
market.
about just dirty-ish.
Yeah,
it's not so much. It's such a chore to reach. Now it is Doc, so I mean it might be a chore for him to reach down and pick it up. Because,
that's true. I didn't have Raul with me.
Yeah, he don't have Raul to lift it for him.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Lift the toilet seat.
Daddy, tell Raul to lift the toilet seat for me.
But I'm just saying, all the things in a public restroom that's become automatic, that the dirtiest job besides wiping your own ass,
right?
Obviously.
Which those are bidets.
That's true.
Public bidets should be a thing.
But they should be.
The dirtiest job has not been automatized.
Yeah, because have you seen the automatic? When you go to the dirty poopers, if you will, they have the toilet paper
covers.
The covers.
Yep. Yeah.
Have you seen the automatic? They have automatic.
They even have
toilet covers.
Wow.
It's like a thing that comes out. It grabs the front of the toilet. It's like a toilet condom. Goes over it. You take a dump. When you flush, it drops it in the water. Yeah. Automatic. Where you going?
Where does your dumpage go? Does it go in
the toilet?
Yeah. So it don't cover.
It doesn't catch
it's
your
just like
dumpage
a condom
either.
for the seat somehow.
Oh, it just goes on the seat.
It goes into the plastic, wraps it up, and puts it in.
I know. There's no mechanism.
It's like a doo-doo genie.
Right. There's no mechanism for, when you walk into the stall, you're like, oh, yeah, I need to take a leak. And it just zoom.
Right. I like what he says. There's a camera, and you give it and the seat lifts.
One.
You give it a two, and it drops down.
Zoom.
I've seen some pretty gross bidets.
I like that.
Yeah.
What do you mean gross bidets? You went to some buddies' houses and their toilets were destroyed, or
splattering.
I've been to Japan. I was in Japan. Most of them have.
Hold on.
He's
the home of the bidet in Japan.
Yeah.
Yep. And and then you've got the guys, I don't know, the jokesters or whatever that just will shit on the bidet or whatever. Either shit on it or it will I don't know, but I've seen many a bidet with shit on it as it comes out.
The wand has shit as it's cleaning you.
Either that or the shit's on it.
So you get somebody else's shit on your asshole?
Aren't you worried about blowback as
you did not use
shitter?
that?
No.
Okay, I was about to say.
No, I've seen it.
If you sat on that and turned that on, seeing, jeez, you're never coming back on here.
No, I'm saying I've seen it and been disgusting.
I mean,
shit on the bidet.
If the toilet is dirty enough, I'm with him. I'm not lifting the lid. I'm just going to piss on it.
Same.
But if it's relatively clean, I don't have a problem. I one finger it. I mean, I'm not Rah,
Well, have you seen?
And technically, you're going to wash your hands afterwards.
Yeah, you should.
Have you seen the foot knobs, whatever you want to call it, on the toilet seat? It's like a regular toilet seat, but it just got a little.
It does have a little kick out thing.
Yeah, that you can lift it with your foot.
So somebody thought of this to develop that, but never did they say, okay, I think I'm going to do
it's automatic,
a little servo motor to.
Hold on. Do you guys wash your hands after you pee?
Oh,
sometimes nah.
Why do you say, oh yeah? Why?
Yeah, why?
If you don't get pee on your hands, you do
get
penis
pee
that
on
dirty?
your hand.
Yeah, because when you're
I'd never get pee on my hand.
Yeah, me neither.
Micro splash.
Do you not shake?
Yes, but I don't.
Yeah, but I don't have my hand under. I don't have my hand underneath my penis, like
so the
shaking it.
Decatur Convention Center is the only one with true anti-splash pads.
Yeah, screw all that. Let's get back to the talk. You two piss on your hands every time you take a piss.
Actually, we all do.
Sometimes when you shake, you get a little dribble.
Unless
sometimes, yes, that's what I said. Not all.
You
the
still
time.
wash your hands every time.
I can't think of a time I've gotten piss on my hands.
So technically, if it's
I'm sorry, we're not all donkey dick here, Ty.
I want to go with more times than not. I don't wash my hands.
No, y'all
just
aren't thinking about like if it's a half-length urinal, like it's not a urinal that you piss on the ground, right? You're probably getting some splash.
The only full-length urinal I
care.
peed in was like in elementary. I don't even think I've.
Yeah, so most urinals actually aren't floor length.
Not anymore. No.
Yeah, so if you piss on them, if where your piss is hitting is within like a foot to a foot and a half of your hands.
You're saying it's hitting your hands even if you don't realize it?
Bounce back.
I'm washing my
Which
hands
is
every
fine.
time.
Like it's just urine. Like
also, pee is not as. Yeah,
it's just piss.
It's just urine.
And okay. So can I pee on you, Ty?
Technically,
he might be into that.
I'm not sure that's the next. Has to be the next step.
Mostly urine is sterile.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay, let me restate my statement. If I can feel it on my hands, I'm washing my hands.
Sure,
but
you
on
should.
a normal piss,
theoretically,
whether it's micro splashing back on me, get ready because I'm shaking your hand and face afterwards.
You're the reason I like the invention of the door, the foot knob on the doors. Now, have you seen those in the bathrooms?
Yeah, where you just like whoop,
grab, you know,
touching the
you go
hand.
wash your hand, wipe your hands, and
that.
you're like, God damn it, I got to touch this grimy ass door handle to get out of here.
Yeah.
So usually I've either wrapped the paper towel around it and then chunk it, or thankfully there's a
if ever
now.
there was a sign that we're bougie as fuck.
I've never done that once in my life.
I mean, there was a day. You remember, like, good old, I mean, honestly, gas station bathrooms.
There was a day
Buc-ee's.
we wiped our ass with sticks with a rag on the end of it, bro. You think they were washing their hands afterwards? No.
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 We're way too involved and invested in this. So Whiskey Bros need to start a corporation where we market to a public bathroom greater good for an automated toilet seat.
At least in family restrooms.
So again, how do you activate?
I kind of like your idea, honestly. I think you just go. Boop.
You just hit a button.
So you're touching a button?
No, you're not touching a button. You're just
waving.
Yeah.
But then the seat's going to be like because you're trying to pull your pants down and like, oh shit, no, it's going back down.
Yeah. Okay.
You're trying to pull your zipper out. Oh shit, it's going.
It's funny.
So it can't be motion.
And I guess for ladies, all of it would be.
Yeah, ladies,
Number
it
two.
doesn't matter.
Okay,
they're sitting no matter what.
I actually asked my daughter.
About to blow your mind. About to blow your mind.
Hold on, I have three voices in my head.
Blow your mind.
Three
if
voices
that's
in my
true,
head.
why does not the woman's toilet just have a lid that does not move? Why do they?
That was
need
my
this?
question. That I asked my daughters. I was
that is
like,
a really good question. Actually,
okay. You know,
why do we not
I was
have
like,
men and women toilets?
Right. Okay. In women's toilets, why do the seats raise? At all?
Yeah,
exactly.
He just was asking that.
Asked that.
It turns out that they always do.
You had to ask your 9-year-old that to figure out that they always do?
I don't frequent women's restrooms.
But you've been in a woman's restroom. Come
Accidentally,
on now.
I have.
No, bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
There's a full gas station where you're like, I can't wait. I'm right into the
there
women's.
have been several a drunken night
all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
That you walk in and you're like, fuck, I'm in the women's restroom.
Yeah, that always happens to me. Oh,
I've been in multiple women's restroom. They're always got a freaking seat with a lid thingy. Why?
I know why. I don't know.
Freaking great question.
It should just stay
it's
down.
a universal, like it's a money thing. Just put them all in.
But wouldn't it be cheaper to go ahead and just make a woman's toilet that doesn't? Maybe we need to make. Maybe that's.
I mean, honestly,
Heard it first here. Whiskey Bros female only toilet.
Female only toilets, dude. We
Not
could sell
applicable for the trans community.
We
Sorry.
could sell that. Oh no, females only.
I don't
real
know.
females, not this fake ass beauty pageant female we're talking about. real ones.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
The moms.
Wonder why that is. Women's toilets, why do they need lid?
Honestly, I thought of it for a week. I haven't come up with an answer.
Well, I don't even know.
I don't either. I'm going to think about
I'm
this.
pretty sure. I don't know this for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I know this for sure. Don't they generally, especially in public places, they kind of hover, right? They probably don't sit.
That's because it's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it depends on the woman and the situation.
That doesn't fix the...
It doesn't, but I'm saying...
Why do they need a seat?
Do they need one at all?
Yeah, you're going to... Yeah, it's a really good question. Earth-shattering here. So much for religion.
Yeah.
Why do we need... Why do women need movable lids on the toilet?
That's a good question.
I think on that really positive note, we should wrap this shit up.
I'm going to be thinking about this late at night. Why does the women's
This is the moment when people capitalize on these stupid things.
Oh, and I know.
They make fucking billions.
No, we're going to be talking about it. And we're like, oh, yeah, we should make millions. Let me make money. And then 10 years down the road.
No, it won't even be 10 years.
Yeah,
It'll
somebody's
be 2.
going to invent it. And we're like, really?
Revolutionary tech in the public bathroom industry.
Our daughters are going to come out of the restroom and they'll be like, hey, guess what that restroom had?
Yeah, the lid didn't move.
Yeah. And we'd be like, fuck.
We're going to go cry.
Yeah.
Prison toilets don't have lids. They're stainless steel toilets.
That's true.
They don't got any kind of seat lid thing.
All right, there you go.
Park toilets.
Park toilets?
Yeah,
a lot. I mean, I remember park toilets.
I have one park that has the old stainless steel.
Yeah.
There's no lid?
Nope. It's just a bowl.
Okay, women, there you go. You need prison toilets.
Yep, that's right. Boom.
I didn't say it.
The film says you did.
Oh, Lord.
Man, we covered some ground tonight,
boy,
boys.
did we.
We went from whiskey to Jesus to women's toilets.
Oh, and beauty pageants.
Beauty pageants.
I think our production team is going to have a fun time wrapping this one up.
And I didn't even ask my question, so I'm going to put it on the... I'm waiting until next week.
Next week. Right. Well, we won't be here next Sunday.
It'll be the next.
Yeah, but we might do it a different day.
Okay.
Yeah, Monday,
Friday
or
Saturday.
Friday, that'd be good.
Okay.
Maybe. I'll have another OP Friday. So
Rambo. Did you bring a GoPro? Or is that my GoPro?
It's your GoPro.
I think it is mine. Okay, yeah, I brought it up here.
Are you the first back-to-back?
No.
Guest?
No.
Who?
Zach. Zach was.
Are you sure?
No, Zach was back-to-back, but he had another guest with him.
Still back-to-back.
Is it?
So
he's already been crowned the champion of the most appearances. So
this is 4 now.
Yeah, he's cinching the deal right now.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, Zach, you got to come, dude.
Competition.
Just got to give Ty a run for his money.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. Virgil Leather, we love you. Appreciate you.
We
Whiskeys. Feel free to sponsor us anytime you would like.
Unprofessionals. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to us.
I really want these people to sponsor us.
Who is that? Old Saint Nick.
Yeah.
I want them all to sponsor us.
If I had one whiskey place to sponsor us, my pick would be Booker's.
So, Jim Beam.
I would like to say officially Booker's is my favorite all-around whiskey of all time.
I'm going to go with Wild Turkey. I love a Wild Turkey sponsorship.
Whistle pick.
I've got this 70-year Wild Turkey.
Oh, no.
70, sorry.
70th anniversary.
70th
God almighty.
70th anniversary.
My grandpa's.
That I haven't opened yet.
Yeah. It is. Have you had it, though? Trinity's had it.
I did. I actually had it a few weeks ago in Fort Worth.
It's a good pour. Who would be your ideal sponsor from a vendor, a whiskey vendor?
I mean,
Evan Williams, White Label.
Yeah,
it'd be Heaven Hill, wouldn't it? Yeah,
I think that'd be kind of cool to get. I think it's Redemption that does the. I think it's Redemption that's the distillery for very old Saint Nick. It's kind of a smaller like boutique distillery out there.
Yeah.
You know, Craft. There you go.
Boutique works good too.
The one. Have you seen Breaking Bourbon? You ever follow Breaking Bourbon?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the website.
Yeah. It would be cool to get those guys to.
Do they have a YouTube page?
I don't. Probably.
Yeah, I bet they would. But I do read their websites, especially if there's a new release. They're usually my go-to source.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who'd be really, really cool to sponsor us?
Father Time Bourbons.
Those people directly behind you. That'd be freaking awesome, Red River Distillery. That'd be awesome. Since you're in every podcast we do. Yeah. Boom. Sponsorships. We need them. We love them. What about you, Doc? Who would you?
Whistle Pig.
Ooh.
You've only had one Whistle Pig you like.
No, I had two. There's the other one.
The 15-year?
Yeah.
The estate?
But I had two Whistle Pigs, and the characteristic that really spoke to me, the old lady perfume.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Was consistent across those two. So I just assume it's all Whistle Pigs.
You know they source some of their juice from Canada, right?
Maybe that's why I love it.
He is a Canada drinker.
Yeah.
You drive a Telsa.
Canadians.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Oh, no, we got one more.
Oh.
You haven't said your pick.
Me? Yes,
I did.
You did. I said wild turkey. Anything like any of the Russell's lines. God, man. Wild turkey in general.
All these picks I could really get behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Ty? What'd you say?
I said that Redemption.
Oh, that's right.
It is Redemption.
Very old Saint Nick. I think that's what
else did they do besides very old? I don't know.
So they've got some. I think there's just it's just regular Saint. So this is the rye. I know they've got.
So out of all the whiskey you've had, that's what you're picking, and you can barely name.
I know.
Come on, now.
I just think they've got other stuff too. Like it's more like.
I have the
distillery,
rye,
but that's not necessarily. This is more of like a craft one.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm trying to be realistic here because it's like we're not gonna get a Buffalo Trace probably. That would be awesome.
You don't know if you don't ask.
I guess that's true. But
I'm trying to say we're not going to.
You.
Yeah,
sorry.
I like that.
Excuse me.
If you get us a Buffalo Trace sponsorship,
that would be awesome. I'm just saying maybe a craft would be more realistic.
Any sponsorship. What are you talking about?
Ghost Bro's getting kicked out.
Not Buffalo Trace. You get us any one of those.
That would be freaking awesome.
All right. I've had enough.
Shit. All right.
Good night.
Adios.
Gosh, that was good.
You've been listening to the Whiskey Bros Around the Table.